What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. We have another action-packed episode for you guys here this afternoon. The weather isn't really agreeing with us right now, but on the plus side, we're able to shoot a little earlier in the day. Some of us didn't have to work today. Some of us, like myself, got to work from home, which is always a welcome thing. So yeah, let's rock and roll. We're gonna change the usual format. Usually we start with Division 6 and work our way up. Today, because we have a special guest coming on in a moment, we're gonna start with Division 1, the cream of the crop in men's 6v6. So that being said, we have FPF commissioner, player, stand-up guy, Ravens fan, Ben McMahon coming on.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Ben.
What's going on? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. It's a busy time of the year, right? It's in the home stretch, obviously in the FlagPlus Football winter season. As far as the regular season goes, playoffs are around the corner. A lot of things going on. Spring season, the feeling of spring season is in the air. It's also around the corner. I know your Baltimore Ravens been busy the last 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, big time. Ups and downs.
Yeah, there you go. Bit of a roller coaster. So yeah, let's hop into it, man. Obviously, you're the commissioner of FPF, right? So obviously, you don't just care about the league; you're an employee of the league as well. What are your thoughts right now of the winter season? How it's gone so far?
Good. This is the second time that I'm running the winter season. The first time was in 2025, so it's a smoother process and getting to know everybody much more than I did originally. Has been such a pleasure. Everybody's so nice to work with, and the community, the players everybody's been so nice to speak with, to talk to. So I'm really, really enjoying it.
Nice. Okay. Just looking back, like obviously you've been a player in FPF for a long time, right? Most people know you as a quarterback, but you're also a fantastic receiver, a rusher, defensive back. You have a bunch of teams that you play on. You're the captain of. You have other teams that you sub on, or you play under other people's captaincy. When did you start in FPF?
I'm sorry?
Well, like what year did you start FPF?
I started in 2017. I think it was winter 2017, I think. But winter 2017, and I started as a receiver, and I think the team name was called Hurricane Season. I think I had the very average season, but just fell in love with it immediately.
Okay, and what got you in the FPF?
So my current snapper, Kevin Donnet, is my cousin also. He had been playing with some of his coworkers at the time with a similar roster to what was Hurricane Season. He brought me in to, I think, just watch a couple of times because at the time, I believe you had to be 17 to play in the adult league, and I wasn't yet. So I was just waiting to turn 17 so I can play with him and his buddies. That happened in 2017. So as soon as I could, I started playing with them, and yeah, so credit goes to Kevin Donnet.
All right. Shout out to Kevin, a good dude. I remember meeting you, I want to say maybe 2018, 2019. No, I think it's 2018. Yeah, you came in, so Kevin was a snapper on my team, a snapper in Russia, and I remember we needed a quarterback, and he's like, yeah, I got my cousin Ben. He hasn't really played that much in FPF, but he's really good. I'm like, all right, cool, bring you out. And I was impressed, I'm not going to lie. I made the mistake. I remember you came out, we were rolling with, I think it was Christian Sarantola as our quarterback. Yeah. So that's a flashback.
Yeah.
And you kind of struggled in the game. I had a quick hook. This is before I had patience. On the
no, that's fine. That's fine. At the time, I was in the lowest level. I think I was throwing at, the entry level. I was throwing in 6B, which was called 6D at the time for development, right. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. So I definitely did struggle with the commission.
Just to kind of stop you guys here.
Yeah.
So Ben, we have you in the stats, whatever on the site. We have the first season you played with was called ETC, and that was spring 2017.
Let me tell you what happened. So my first one was winter, but my name was wrong. It wasn't my correct name. Spelling was wrong in the winter of 2017.
Okay.
So it got changed, but I guess I didn't have my first season transfer over But yeah, my name was wrong. But my first one
Okay,
was with
sorry.
So that was my second.
That was your second.
My second, yeah. And if you look at my stats on that, I start off as quarterback, and if you look at my throwing stats, they're terrible.
Yeah,
So
you had 10 games played, 124 attempts, 55 completions, 635 yards, 13 TDs, and nine.
Take it easy.
9 INTs.
Yeah.
14 sacks, completion ratio of 44.4, QB rating is 65.1.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember what was your record in that season? I can't see it here.
I don't think it was very strong. We did get stronger though when we switched quarterbacks. Juwan Edgehill took over as quarterback of that season, and we improved. So I think we made the playoffs. I don't know. It was many teams ago, so I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys made playoffs because I see your play. Yeah. I see you guys actually made 2 playoff games. So you guys won your first one. Okay. And you guys lost your second one. But,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you guys lost in the quarterfinals versus Trinity. So that's a veteran. It's the same Trinity. Yeah, that's a veteran.
Yeah. John from San Marquino's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you, Ben. So Quaysie talked about like you first started and you did as well, right? And a lot of things we tell like the young quarterbacks that are listening, both male and female, usually when you first make the transition into coming into flag, whether you play tackle or not, right? It's hard. Playing quarterback is hard, right? For you, do you think was it just as simple as just getting reps that caused you now? Again, you look at yourself now, right? You're in Division 1, you're in all the higher divisions, and when you're throwing, you're one of the best quarterbacks we have in all of FPF, right? No matter what division. For you, was it simply just getting reps, or what was able to build your confidence in becoming the player that you are now?
For sure, reps, but also I was able to play at a little bit of a higher level as a receiver before I was able to play as a quarterback. So being exposed to higher level quarterbacks definitely helped me. A big credit definitely goes to Jeff Rosenblatt, who took me into his Division 2 team as a receiver relatively early. So I learned a lot from him. But for sure, the number one thing is definitely reps and understanding what defenses are trying to do. And I'll encourage everybody always that if there's higher divisions playing, whether that's women's 1, Division 1, men's 5v5 competitive, if they're playing a similar time to your game time, go early, stay later, watch what the quarterbacks are doing, watch the receivers are doing, watch how defenders are jumping routes, watch as much as you can and try to absorb what it is that they're doing, because that'll definitely help you for sure.
Okay. Looking at it right here, you have over 1,000 touchdown passes, rushing, right? So obviously you being a dual threat quarterback, we talked about it before, right? Especially when you're coming up the lower divisions, you could run almost every second down if you want, every second play. Obviously you get to the higher divisions, you have to become more of a passer. But I'm looking at your stats, right? You have almost 7,500 yards rushing. You have over 51 rushing touchdowns, right? Anyone that's seen you play on the field knows you can go from you can do the 40-yard dash. I'm going to put some money on this, I think. I think you can get the 40 done in under 4.4.
Oh, there's no chance. There's no chance.
No chance? No. You sure? Who do you think is faster? You or Quaysie?
What did you just say? Did you say you can run under 4.4?
Yeah, that's crazy, Brent. Thank you, but no.
4.4, yeah, come on now.
Man, you know how fast a 4.4 actually is?
No.
Like Ben's probably a 4.9.
No, I'm definitely faster than 4.9, and I know that because we did laser times. We did laser times and hand times, and I know for a fact I'm faster than both of that. So, Quaysie, we're gonna talk about this in person.
Ben, I'm pinning up 4.9. Ben, you can come to one of our facilities in the summer.
Sure.
Sure. I'll get the stopwatch show. I got you guys.
Sure.
Okay, so I said 4.4. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna say 4.5. I think you do 4.5.
I haven't done it in a few years, but that's a compliment, and I'll take it. Thank you, Brent.
There you go. I got you. Are you faster than Quaysie? Are we saying this right here live?
I was going to be nice, but after he's talking, I'm going to say I'm faster than Quaysie.
Quaysie, what's your response?
Ben's fast. Maybe Ben's, bro. I'm on one knee right now. I barely could run, but if we go back 2 years ago, no. If both my knees are fine, he's not fast. But he's fast. Ben's quick. Ben's quick.
Okay.
Man. I'll give Ben's shifty and quick, you know? But,
That's not really fast, but all right, 15 quick. Okay.
right?
All right.
No, there's a difference between like shifty. There's a difference between you being fast and then shifty and quick. You know, like
100%. 100%.
who's kind of shifty and quick? You know who's fast? Hushlo. Hushlo is fast.
Yeah.
He's
but
like
he's fast and quick.
yeah.
He's everything.
No,
he's
but
everything.
He's less quick, and then like in a
No,
race,
he's quick. He's quick.
he's not as shifty though. Like he's not.
Bro, he can do it all. He can do it all.
I find you're way more shifty than Hushlo.
Thank you, but he can do it all.
If I'm trying to deflag, I'd rather deflag him than deflag you. But going down a straight line, if I have to run I definitely can't catch him anymore.
There's not many people who can. I couldn't name you much. My man's fast.
All right. Switching from offense, you play some defense well, right? Like I said, you play some rusher. I've seen you play defensive back. Which position do you prefer to play the most?
Excluding offense, you said?
Yeah. Or in general, like because you play both sides of the ball, right?
Oh, for sure, quarterback.
Coming up, you definitely play both sides. Okay.
For sure, quarterback. Yeah.
Okay, and so on defense, though, when you do play rusher, okay, let's call a spade here. None of us are over 6 feet tall, right? I think you're the shortest of the three of us, but just not, the bar is not too high. But what makes you such an effective rusher?
It cut out a bit. Sorry, what made it what?
Like, what makes you such an effective rusher on defense?
I guess I would say maybe I'm a little quick, so getting around me as a quarterback is a little hard. But if you're like a pocket passer, then I'm not really a problem for you. You're gonna have an easy day against me. But if you're a running quarterback who relies on his legs, then I might give you a little bit of a problem.
Okay, I'm looking at your stats right now. You got 51 sacks, and you have 90 INTs. So okay, so let me ask you a different question then. Rusher or defensive back? What do you prefer?
I guess it depends the game, right? Like for example, I'm gonna get his last name wrong, but rushing somebody like Alexander Zalipsky, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know.
Yes.
He's like a super fun quarterback to rush because he's very athletic and he's quick. So rushing him is a challenge, right? But then rushing somebody like let's say Kevin Wyeth, where the ball is coming out very fast. He's not going to try to beat you with his legs. That's I'm less effective there, and it's also not as engaging, I guess. So it's really like matchup dependent because I do enjoy both.
Okay. So you enjoy rushing?
Yeah, like depending on the matchup for sure.
All right. Good to know. Okay. If I need a rusher, I know who to call.
No. You don't want somebody who runs a 4.9. You want somebody faster than that.
To be honest, I find a 4.9 is fast, guys. Are you crazy? When I was at Vanier, like if you ran under than a 5, you were happy about it.
I'm just joking. I know. I'm just joking.
Okay, like guys running 4.9s are like, "Woo, let's go, baby!" Like I think it's fast. It's fast.
What so like sticking with flag, obviously you're Division 1, right? So your team, the Vultures, right now you guys are 5-2, if I'm not mistaken, right? You guys are in second place. 3 games left in the regular season. How do you see those games finishing up? Or what do you guys need to do to go from 5-2 and to finish the regular season 8-2?
Well, right now the team is pretty banged up. We have Anthony Brisebois, who was in San Diego, got banged up a bit. I know he's missing our game tonight. Olivier's banged up. I'm banged up. I'm not even 100% sure if I'm playing my game tonight.
You guys playing it?
Royaume Luminaire, I believe. Yeah, so getting healthy is for sure a big one, especially guys like Anthony Brisebois and Olivier, who really carry the load on defense. I mean, those guys are so talented on the defensive end.
Yeah, so looking at your schedule right here again, like I said, 5-2. You guys are in second place. Yeah, so you guys have like you said, Royal Luminaire tonight, Stady Bear, and then you have you have 10 days off though after that, right? You're back up the 21st against the Braves, and then you finish off with easy W. Coming into the game, you guys have won. It looks like 4 in a row, right? So you guys knocked off Fins Up. You beat Royal Luminaire back on February 21st, so a rematch obviously tonight with those guys. You beat the Infantry, and then you beat One Stop last Thursday. Actually, I was in Restart last Thursday to see that game. I was scorekeeping, but I saw that game on the other field. Again, 4 games in a row. What's been the biggest key to your guys' 4-game winning streak right now?
The defense. Honestly, the defense has been so. I'm not sure what the proper term I would want to use is, but they've just been very, very effective. A couple turnovers too, giving us short fields to work with because, as you guys would know, in Division 1, you start on the 5 like you would start on the 5 on a turnover as you would in the 5v5 format. So getting us short fields with interceptions is super helpful. And just they haven't given up anything easy in a long time. No deep go balls, nothing like that. Everything's been the opponent's offense has had to work really hard against our defense all season. So all the credit goes to the defense, I would say.
Okay, yeah, and just looking at your squad right now. So you guys, a player I discovered the other day, Olivier Joly. I had a chance to call his, not call, pardon me, to scorekeep his game last Saturday at Concordia with the Prox, and I came away impressed. Like he was making a lot of plays, both sides of the ball. Looking at him on your team this year, I believe he's played. I want to say he's played 4 games. He's played 7 games for you guys this year. So, talk about the impact. It's his rookie season at FPF. Just talk about his impact.
Yeah, he's just like he's a dog. He has that mentality that you want, especially on defense. And on top of that, he's just got a great attitude. Like on the sideline, in the huddle, it doesn't matter. His attitude is always exactly what you want it to be as a teammate. But it's just that defensive mentality that you need to be effective, which you can't really teach, you can't work on. It's just you have it or you don't. And he's definitely got it. That guy's a dog, and I look forward to playing with that guy for many seasons to come.
Yeah, former defensive back with the Sherbrooke Verrior, definitely a standout player. That's obviously a big addition to FPF, and it's always nice to see. So we have someone actually coming on from youth sports from the Concordia Stingers in a few minutes, and Will Castonguay. He'll be joining us in about 10-15 minutes. But I'm saying it's always nice when you especially get those youth sports players or former college players that right away they come in FPF and they play the highest divisions. I think it's great to see. Instead, some guys go down with their friends in 6 and they try to slowly work their way up and they start dominating teams and get some of the best playing in the highest divisions. I think that's how it should be.
Ben, I have a question. Sorry, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So just kind of looking at the standings when Brent was kind of saying you guys are 5-2. Do you think it's okay? So as playoffs work, everyone makes playoffs. So usually you guys, I would say the Vultures, you guys are kind of in the middle of the pack. This year, you guys are having an extreme year, as you kind of saying. Your defense is by far one of the best defenses right now, only allowing 186 points for this so far. And usually you guys, Vultures, are usually known for one of the worst defenses.
That's fair.
I think that's called spade a spade.
That's fair.
But this year you guys are doing a great job. The Infantry. So let's talk like a team like that. Right now they're 2-4, right? If for some reason, let's just say they finish below the bottom of the pack and they end up finishing their season, let's say 3-7, then they get that 7-seed spot, and you guys stay in that 2-seed spot. That would mean you guys match up the first round of playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, what's your reaction to that? Like going in, like let's say if that does happen, what's your reaction to like going into a game like that? Or you're like, what the fuck? Like we do so well in a stat, like we do so well this year, and our reward is playing the Infantry first round.
Yeah, that's exactly the words I was going to say. Like, though it's not a reward to get to play Wyeth in the playoffs or any time, to be honest. He's so good. So, but I think like our defense. I don't know what the game plan was going in because I don't play defense in that division. So whatever it is that they were doing, if we can do that again, then that's okay. But like you said, it's no prize to be able to play Wyeth in the first round, especially when you finish with a high seed. Like you should be able to play a team that isn't as strong. But whatever it is that's going on with the Infantry, I don't care because Wyeth in the playoffs it's Wyeth in the playoffs. That's all it is.
I was kind of looking at it and I was just like, it's kind of, I was also, me and Brent were kind of talking about it. And I was just like, you have the Braves at 3-3, and they said the 4th seed, Infantry 2-4, so the 7th seed, even Royal Luminai, they're the 6th seed. Usually these teams finish, they're more higher up, right? Then you have the Party Crashers, they're having an amazing year right now, and they're 6-0. But I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like, you have such a great year, and then you end up playing, like, even though Infantry, they are struggling this year, but playoff football is completely different than a regular season game. You know, they have their full roster. Kevin White is kind of more locked in, and you don't see a quarterback like Kevin get knocked out the first round. Which, to be honest, it would make like history, but it's still not a matchup that a lot of people would want to put themselves into.
Yeah, but I will say, like, I feel like anybody's capable of upsetting anyone in this division. I mean, the Braves are 3-3. Infantry is not doing that well. Like, it can happen. I mean, it's not like it's a fluke, right? I mean, every team seems to be good and have the ability to win on any given night. So,
I feel like playoffs is just a bit different. Like, even
100%, it's different. That's why, like,
playoffs.
Yeah.
But again, you guys, your team right now is playing well, and the biggest factor I think is your defense, right? Also, you doing a good job. Like, you don't want to shit the bed, but the fact that your defense is kind of helping you out, especially for the fact that first downs are midfield, I think that's a big advantage when you have a really good defense, because that gives you more stops, gets you the ball in your hands to be able to score points.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, credit goes to the defense. But also, like, our chemistry together is improving too, because this is like the second season that a lot of the core has been there. Guys like Sanders and Daniel Mancini, and now for the first time, Anthony Brisebois and Olivier Joly and Zachary. These guys have never all played together before. Mm-hmm. So it's the chemistry is kind of coming together, and it's showing the most on defense. So.
Yeah, no, she's it. We see it over here. We see it.
All right. Sorry. I was gonna say. So looking at all the teams you play on, right? Because you play like on a million different teams. I know you're in like Division 1. Obviously, you're in Co-ed 1. You're Co-ed 5v5. I think you're in Division 2 as well. Co-ed 2, I believe, as well.
And Division 2, yeah, with Silent Ticklers.
You play. Yeah, exactly. You play this year, Ben?
Too many. I wanted to do 3, and then I just agreed to them, and then all of a sudden they piled up, and then it's like, whatever. Like, I have to be at the field a lot anyways, so it kind of works out for me, but whatever, you love it. There's worse things to be addicted to.
True.
Okay, so 100%. Okay, so with all the teams you play on, all the teammates you have, who's like the funniest teammate? Who's someone, you get to the field and right away you're like, it's going to be jokes?
Oof. If you get to know Anthony Brisebois really well and you're close with him, he's really funny. Dante Girardi is very funny. His brother Matteo Girardi is very funny. I mean, the whole Silent Tickler rosters, those guys are very, very funny as well. So, like, if I had to single one person out, though, that's tough. It may be Matteo Girardi if I had to choose one. Okay. But it's close. It's close because his brother Dante and Anthony Brisebois, they're up there too.
Okay. Obviously, like I said, you played in a lot of the co-ed teams as well, right? And a lot of the times we've been looking at it like the last year plus, right? Obviously, the growth of flag football, especially from the female side of it. What is it like with you to be on the field with teammates? Obviously, you play with Rochelle, you play with Emma, a lot of other females. You play with Gigi. What has it been like for you to suit up now with a lot of the females, some of the best females in FPF?
Well, because they played at the highest level in the women's, which is the 5v5 format exclusively, they've been able to teach me a lot of things, especially on defense as well, because they're experienced in the 5v5 format. So playing with them has been great, learning as well every opportunity I have. And just they always have great attitudes, so it's just a pleasure regardless.
Nice. Quaysie?
Yeah, sorry. I have one more question. Sorry, I was reading something. I have one more question for you regarding Division 1. It's actually about the Party Crashers.
Yeah.
You played against the Party Crashers back in I think it was earlier on, week 5. No, yeah, week 5. You guys played for Party Crashers. They won 40-24.
Yeah.
how legit is this team, or are they frauds?
Oh, they're legit. They're legit. Now the flag experience is starting to catch up with how athletic they are. So they're putting it together very well, and Jean-Lee has been really efficient. I feel like that's the biggest thing that changed for the Party Crashers is the step that Jean-Lee took as a quarterback. Everybody knows what he brings as an athlete in general: snapper, receiver, defensive player, rusher. He can do anything, but his quarterback plays has caught up to his I guess the rest of his play, and that team is as serious as it gets. But really, their biggest thing though, like playing against them, especially as a quarterback, I would say it's their defense, man. Their defense is unreal. It's maybe not by far, but there's a gap, I would say, between their defense and the rest of the division, which is crazy to say, especially when you have guys like or teams like the Braves as well, right? But as a quarterback, if I'm not looking forward to a specific matchup, it's going to be the Party Crashers defense for sure. Those guys are serious.
So, kind of carry on here.
Sure.
So the fact that Jean-Lee is taking command as quarterback,
yeah.
So do you think does it help them? I guess it helps them more the fact that he's quarterback other than a receiver, or do you think like if they brought in someone, I don't know, let's just say they brought in, I don't want to say Fred Dupree because they've been struggling with Fred Dupree for so long, but trying to think of like a quarterback that's kind of like playing right now. So let's just say they bring like a quarterback like Phil Cutler. Do you think that would work out as Jean-Lee to be a better receiver, or do you think he's in the best spot right now playing as quarterback?
That's a tough question to answer. But based on just what's going on, I mean, you can't get better than undefeated, and they're undefeated right now. So I would say with Jean-Lee, and if you look at everything as a whole, that's the most mobile quarterback, along with, I believe he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league throwing right now also. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You have to account for him with his legs as well. So, I mean, if you look at the rushers in the division, I mean, aside from his team, which has Frank, who's a very good rusher, you have Ethan Adrian from Infantry, who's a tremendous rusher as well. But, you know, I've seen Jean-Lee get the better of Ethan a few times, and I would consider Ethan one of the fastest and best rushers FPF has to offer. So, like, playing against Jean-Lee is a bit of a nightmare matchup.
So, Brent, just to let you know, like, Ethan runs a 4.5, just to kind of put that out there. Yeah, Ethan runs.
I don't think he'd blow away Ben in a race. I'm just saying Ben could probably run maybe a 4.5. I was wrong before when I said understood 4.4, but only 4.5, maybe 4.6. I'm just saying.
I can't wait to ask Will about how fast a 4.5 actually is.
I kind of like to see Ben get onto the field and race you into 40 and smoke you and yell out 4.9 in your face. That's what I can't wait for. But I mean, when we get that in the spring season, so stay tuned for that one.
I need Quaysie to get healthy first.
There you go. Yeah. Quaysie has until the end of May to get healthy and get right.
Bring in more questions for him to kind of close it.
Yeah, I think we're good. And it's good luck to you guys tonight. Obviously, like I said, you guys are playing Royaume Luminaire tonight, so big matchup in Division 1. So hopefully we'll see what happens in that one. Hopefully you stay healthy. Hopefully you're able to take the field, and if you are, hopefully you don't make it worse. And yeah, best of luck, man.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate your time.
All right, peace.
All right, thank you.
See you guys.
All right, so that was Ben McMahon, player in FPF, obviously one of the faces of FPF, joining us for the podcast. Speaking of defense and 40 times, we have a guy coming up from Will Castonguay from Les Renard Vif, a Division 3 team. It's a buddy of mine. Going to come onto the pod. Current LPI linebacker for the Concordia Stingers as well. So it's his 5th year. So this will be his last year, unfortunately, playing youth sports, unless I don't think he's eligible for the COVID year. Pretty sure he's not. Nah. The COVID year.
If it's 5th year, then no, I don't think so. 5 years.
That's 5th year.
Yeah.
He'll know better than us. We'll ask him. We'll ask him when he comes on. Yeah. So
So we're gonna jump into. So we're gonna jump into Division 3 then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to Division 1. and we're gonna jump into Division 3, and then we'll kind of slow back through Division 2. But we're going right now. We're gonna be in Division 3, talking about all the teams and his team and him and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll catch you up with all the other divisions. After we know Will here. All right. So yeah, let's welcome in Will Castonguay. Welcome, sir.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. It's a real opportunity, and I love what you do. So very excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. So we're talking. I know you got to hear us before everyone got to see you, but you got to hear what we were saying. To say it again, obviously, outside linebacker for the Connew Stingers. Yeah. So it's rare. Like that's all three of us at one time or another played for Connew. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
It's your 5th year, right, with the Stingers?
Just did my 5th year. So for me, it was my last year. So finish football now. Up to new challenge.
Okay, all right. So new challenges. Okay. You've been a member of FPF. I'm seeing since 2023, right?
No, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So a couple years now in FPF. What made you want to get into FPF?
It's the biggest league of flag football in the world, so why not be part of this and try to compete every day with the best athletes here? And there's a bunch of football players playing youth sports, but also I think great athletes from all over Quebec, and I feel to regroup, to be part of that, it's a great opportunity. And as a linebacker, it's always good to be able to compete against fast and athletic players.
Nice. Yeah, looking at your team here, like with the Bernard Phipps, even over the last couple of years with you guys, I know you have some still current players like Xavier Tremblay on the team, Jacob Salvay, Arthur Salvay, but his brother Jacob, obviously former player with you at Connew, just also a member of the team. A lot of guys, like if you look through all the rosters in FPF, like I'll throw some names like Oriella Poirier, Carter Souls, Andre Abbey. There's just tons of guys that have like Quaysie as well, myself included, and now you, right? Guys that have either played at Connew before or are currently at Connew making their way into FPF, and it's always a good thing to see. Going back to tackle for a second, obviously, okay, so like you said, you just wrapped up a 5-year career at Connew. I got to call a number of your games when you came down to McGill to play the Redbirds. Yeah. I always talked about on the broadcast, like you're great off the edge, you're able to set the run. Why did you choose Concordia, and what led you to wanting to play defense?
I think defense is the best because we've got to react and we've got to set the tempo every time we make a tackle and we make a play, which is exciting. And I'm from Rimouski, so and when I had the opportunity from 3rd Division to move, I had a few offers, and to go at Concordia, it was mostly because the linebacker spots were open, and I had the opportunity to compete right away, and also to being a francophone and having the opportunity to go and develop my English was, I think, a great thing, and really helped me towards my school journey, and even in sports, I think to be able to be bilingual, it's great, and that was one of the main reasons why I did this move. And also Montreal, I won't hide it. I think Montreal is a great city compared to a bunch of city in Canada. So why not going there and have fun and enjoy the city? So it was a great opportunity to come here.
Okay, nice.
I actually played with 2 teammates. They were brothers. I forgot their names. But they played for Rimouski too. I'm pretty sure. This is back like 2000 and
the Bailey, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I played with them. They literally said the same thing because they were like French, like they
Frenchies.
They didn't speak that much English. And I remember asking them, I'm like, what? Like, why did you come to Concordia? Like, it's English, right? But again, I guess we were kind of translating a bit to French. Like, we're getting more French players. Yeah. But I remember they were saying like, oh yeah, we want to learn English. And like Montreal is so nice. Like it's
exactly.
It's like it's different, So I found it kind of funny how that was kind of your answer.
But you guys should come to see what we have to do in Rimouski and in the country. So why we decided to come here, you would understand everything. That's why.
No. We've had stories where we talked about it. So
yeah,
I completely understand.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So going back to FPF for a second. So right now, Le Renard Vif, you guys are 5-2.
Yep.
You're the ninth seed, ninth place right now.
Yep.
In Division Three. So a winning record. You guys are coming off of a big win. You guys knocked off Win Diesel
Mm-hmm.
33-27 a week ago, so last Wednesday.
Yep.
So you guys have won two out of your last three games. Playoffs are around the corner right now, right? They're just a couple weeks away. You guys have three regular season games left. What do you want to see out of your team as you guys make that march towards the playoffs?
We want to compete, and we have a big matchups coming up, and I feel we need to play at our level of play. And in few games this year, we did mistakes that we were not often doing offensively with turnovers. If you look at Jacob Salvai's stats, he's not throwing a lot of picks. So this year I might have been different, but he's one of the top quarterbacks each and every year. So I think we're fighting the rhythm. We're also trying to find the best spots for everybody. I think we have a bunch of new players to be able to understand our team and be able to place them in the spots that makes them play better and makes them more valuable to the team. I feel that's something important, but we want to also be there and compete because every team I think in Division 3 are good, even though their record is not representative. We have faced teams with bad records that give us great matchups, and that says a lot about the divisions, and that's why we are there and we want to compete every game.
Okay, nice. So yeah, looking at the games you have coming up, you have the Banditos March 23rd. So you guys have a bit of a break into your next game. Then you finish with the Killer Rays and Mengu. So a couple of veteran teams in FPF you guys be taking on to really solidify your playoff spot. Obviously you want to be competitive, like you said, right? You want to win a championship.
Of course.
Do you, realistically speaking, again, you're in the top half of Division 3. What do you think? So from a perspective of a guy who's played tackle and flag, right? And you've been now in FPF for a couple of seasons, like I said. What do you guys think you need to do as a team collectively, or what's something you need to get better at as you guys make that march towards maybe a championship?
I feel it's something that goes on both. In tackle football and flag football is limit turnovers and try to make turnovers, which is, I think, the biggest part we have not done. I think this year we need to limit more the turnovers offensively and defensively. I feel we need to create more turnovers. We had some sort of mix rushers, so we always switch. We're trying to establish someone, probably will be me, but to be always there, making sure that you can control the pocket to make sure the quarterback is not escaping and that you need to force him to throw the ball. Because when the ball is in the air, I think everything can happen. And after that, it's to be able to break on the balls, trust ourselves. And I feel we have bigger players also. We have players playing D-line on our defense, which is might be something that is a disadvantage for us. But if we're able to place them, as I was saying, in their right chairs and in the proper spot for them, I think it can happen because bigger guys make the quarterbacks needs to throw the ball higher, and we have a chance to make a play each and every time the ball is in the air. So why not?
Okay. So I know obviously for those of you who don't know, I go to school with Will, so we're both Connie students. Good times.
Yeah.
We're both in the early childhood education program. Yeah, it's killing me as well. What made you want to get into teaching, specifically, obviously teaching elementary school children?
First off, I like to learn, but what I even like most than learn is to make the other ones learn and make them understand things even better than myself. So as a football player, I always wanted to be in the coaching. So coaching and teaching is pretty much related. So if I can teach younger students what I like and to make everything as interested as possible, as interesting as possible for them with what I like, because I feel when you're a teacher, you need to be passionate about everything. And it's hard because sometimes you have, like, I don't know, boring things like history and boring things like whatever CCQ could be boring, whatever the subject is. You need to be passionate, even though it's not interesting for them and for you. You need to find a way to make it interesting. And as a coach, it's the same thing. It's not even fun to always tackle. There's some kids now in the football that are not big tacklers, but you need to find a way to make them love tackle. So just to be able to give to others, give to younger athletes, give to younger students the love of what I have been through my school journey and my football journey. I think it's mainly the big thing why I want to be a coach and why I want to be a teacher also.
Okay, and right now you're coaching, right?
Yeah, so I've been hired as a coach in Valleyfield, second division defensive coordinator. So I'll be there for next year. But yeah, it's like I was saying at first, it's a new challenge, a new journey, and also I want to be more in the flag football because since I started in 2023, it's a great sport and it's growing up with women, with men, and with the sport that is going to the Olympics. I think it's such an unbelievable journey for the sport. So why not be part of this and support athletes and support even just to be a part of this and play and have fun.
Nice. Any questions, Quaysie?
Yeah, sorry guys. Like I kind of left for a minute there. But I have a question for you, kind of FPF. So when you first, because like this is saying, I think for me, when a lot of people I talk to, especially guys that like from Concordia and guys that played sports, when you first heard of FlagPlus Football, right? Like, did you expect it to be how it was? Because I know the biggest thing with a lot of tackle guys, and I'm lucky enough that I joined FlagPlus like back in 2014. So like I kind of knew the competitiveness of how it was. But did you feel like, okay, yeah, like I could sign up a team and we could play Division 1 and we could go undefeated and we could just beat all these teams? Or were you kind of like, okay, let's start Division 4, Division 5? Because I know a lot of teams when they sign up, the first thing they do, like, okay, we want to play the best teams. And usually what happens is that sometimes the league allows them and they have a horrible go 0-10. Like what was what was going on when you first started playing in the league?
First off, we were not sure about who's going to make the team, and like I was saying to Brent, we had D lines playing, so for sure we were not saying, hey, let's go Division 1 and beat everybody. For sure it would not happen. But also I had friends playing in the FPF already. I had like Tristan Mancini, I had Jalen Greaves, I had Mendel Joseph. Those guys played in FPF. So when I've talked with them and I've asked my questions, they were like, yeah, it's more competitive than you think. And there's really good athletes that are not playing youth sports anymore that are in the league and they're balling. And honestly, it's true, but you need to try it. When you try it and you see those athletes playing, and there's the guys over 30 years old, 40 years old, and they're competing, they're running, they're moving, and you're like, okay, I'm in my 20s, and damn, I'm not there yet. I need to work, and it's exciting, and that's why we decided to start Division 5, and we're going up years after years, and now we're Division 3. Who knows where we'll go? But like, we're trying to build a team that is close with team chemistry, that'll make sure that if we stick together, we can compete. And who knows, we might go Division 2 or Division 1 one day. I don't know, but I know that what's important is to be there and compete and to find the right spot. And you don't know, maybe when you go Division 1, we'll be in our 30s and we'll be competing now, and we're not even youth sports athlete anymore, which means like today in the league, there's players doing that, and that's what the biggest thing I'm impressed the most about.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So you'll be surprised from a lot of teams. Like, so you have teams like Division 1, you have FlagMois, you have Infantry, like a lot of teams that are your guys that played for Grasset, played for University of Montreal, and then they started playing flag, and now they're still a core together. So you guys are on the right path where you guys are, because all you need is chemistry. Like chemistry is the biggest thing in flag, and guys that to stick around. So if you have your core 6 to 8 guys that are always competing with each other, that's how you're able to go down like lower divisions when you're like that. So you're on the right path of
So when you look at FPF now, right? Again, you've been in for a couple of years now.
Yep.
Is there like a team or maybe like a player that you see that you love going up against and you're like, this person brings out the best out of me, or someone that maybe you hate, or a team that you can't stand? Anything like that?
Um, Not a team, not a person, but we like to compete against youth sport athletes that we know. So when we go, we played against Bet the Under this year. It was fun because it was some guys from the Carabin, the other team in Montreal, and it's fun because we tend to like want to trash talk, but at the end of it, we also don't want to do it because we know how they are and we don't want to be too much. And I think it's fun to compete against them because after that we see them back on the field and we're like, hey man, we beat you, or they're trash talking us about flag football, which is funny because it's happening every time. And in the past, it happens also. We play against players that play against McGill, that played for McGill, and after that we go on the field and we trash talk about the flag football, and it's funny because we have our nicknames, we have our last names in the back, so they know who we are, and they're after that they see each other, they see us on the field, and they're like, oh yeah, number 40, blah blah blah, and after that they're yapping, and it's fun, but it's just every time we go on the field and we can compete against those guys that are going U sports, it's fun. And you were saying it at first also, we're competing against Concordia athletes also. We're not all the Concordia football players on the same team. So sometimes we play against them and it's fun. I remember a few years ago going against Ariola Poirier. He's a really good receiver for us in Concordia, but I'm a linebacker, so I'm not often going one-on-one, doing man-to-man against this guy. But when we're on the field, flag football, sometimes I need to go and cover him man-to-man and to make plays against him. It was funny. It was also all love because after that I was yapping in his ears during practice, telling him that a linebacker meant stopped him in man-to-man. So it was funny.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask you. So when you guys beat Win Diesel, you played against your teammate Marcus Lynch.
Yeah.
You held him to like 2 catches for 8 yards.
Yeah.
He's one of the fastest guys in FPF. You guys shut him down. So a lot of trash talking, I'm sure, went on during and after that game too.
We know him so well that like when it happened, it was all love. We went to him and we're like, Marcus, look, you're not beating us this time, man. It's all love every time, but it's fun. It's really fun.
Nice. So obviously you're done now at Concordia.
Yeah.
When you look at your legacy, right? Again, I was looking at your stats, right? You led the team in tackles this year. You led the team in tackles last year. You finished 3 years ago. You finished second, right? So you're a tackling machine. You're great off the edge. What's the legacy you hope you left at ConU in your 5 years?
My look. Like I don't know, basic, but it's not even on the field. It's in the room and it's in the with the guys. I want to leave a legacy of a hardworking guy. I want to lead. I wanted to be a leader for during my 5 years, and I wanted to be an example to follow on and off the field. And I think I've did the best I could to leave that. And I hope my former teammates will remember that about me, that I always wanted to win. I always wanted to compete. I always wanted to bring the best out of my teammates and out of myself. And after that, it was even going to challenge coaches, like to go to them and ask them more detail, ask them for more jobs, ask them for even more. So I hope my teammates, my coaches, and all the Concordias, everybody in Concordia will remember me as a hardworking and dedicated player that always wanted to succeed playing football.
Okay. And I know I introduced you as a linebacker. I've seen you come off the edge a little bit.
Yep.
In your career. What do you prefer, playing defensive end or playing outside linebacker?
Linebacker, because it's I think I could do more things on the field, like coverage and blitzing and maybe just reading the whatever's going on in front of me and making sure I'm making the plays. But it's fun to go on the edge and to blitz and to make some play, because sometimes you don't think and you just go and you just play with your instinct and it's fun. But I would say linebacker, and one of the best feeling it's to make a game sealing sack against whatever team, but mostly McGill, because I knew you were there, and after that you would come after and we would talk about it.
So I'm surprised. I thought for sure it'd be defensive end, like coming off the edge and hitting a quarterback, switching from behind. I know for me, like I played D-line as well. Like I love hitting quarterbacks. It's my favorite thing to do in the world.
Yeah.
Coverage is cool. You don't want me covering anybody, but coverage is cool.
You need to think a little bit more. When you're covering, you need to think a little bit more. Enough. That's why.
All right.
Did you guys? Sorry, since I left, did you talk about the next previous games that they're going to be playing? or that did not come up yet?
Yeah, so yeah, Bandidos. They have Bandidos coming up on the 23rd, and then Killer Rays and Mangoose
Yep.
for the remaining schedule for Les Renard Vif.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys get the name Les Renard Vif from?
It's a very funny story. We had no clue about which name to choose, and I don't know if you remember a few years ago. It was the beginning of ChatGPT and the everything going around this. So we asked ChatGPT, "Hey, can you choose a name for us?" And pow, Les Renards Vif. And it's funny because after that, whoa, that's just funny. Let's take it. But after that, you need to find a logo. And you need to find the colors. You need to do whatever. And one of our former teammates that is not in Montreal anymore, so he's not playing with us. His name is Joel Terrien. His mom is working in the design graphic thing, and we asked her to design a logo. And she find a beautiful logo. I could show you because I decided to wear the T-shirt for today. And like it's funny because she figured out something super cool, and LRV been the nickname for the team for many years, and we find it really cool. So it's unique.
Yeah, unique for sure. So basically, so the translation in English is like the quick foxes, right? Or like the lively foxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So when you look at your transition, right? So I've talked about this with Quaysie plenty of times, and we talked about it with other former tackle guys. How long did it take for you, and maybe even some of your teammates? I guess you can answer for them as well, to kind of make that transition from tackle to flag.
The biggest difference I feel is on defense, because when you're rallying for a tackle, you're not going to tackle anybody. You're trying to get a flag, and sometimes a flag is way smaller than anyone's leg or anyone's knee or anyone's waist, whatever the body part you want to tackle. So we had to slow down a little bit coming up. So at first we had a bit of some calls against us that were roughing because we were a bit too hard, and it's even the same thing playing the ball. So when the ball's in the air, you want to make sure you have a hand on the hip and you want to tap the ball down. And I feel we had to adjust, and we had players that were not doing that more often. We had to make sure that this was corrected. So that was maybe one of the issues. And offensively, though, we were not used to do the dip. I think the new technique that you go down, and even the reach, yeah, a little bit more, but the dip, I think there's a player on the team called Philippe Saint Laurent that is using it pretty well. But I think a bunch of players are not doing this. It's more we're trying to go in between players, and I feel the football habits are still there, but I think sticking with each other for a few more years after our football careers are over, maybe we'll one day be able to dip.
I'm sure it's gonna change. If you guys still have your knees,
yeah, that's one of the issues. But yeah,
I actually had a player that I played with. His name was Jersey Henry.
Linebacker.
Linebacker. Yeah, so halfback line. They switched to his linebacker, and we had a team with a bunch of Concordia guys. We were called the Waste U. So pretty much we had the whole team was a bunch of guys. Corey, we had receivers, running backs, DBs, corners, and I think we held every single player possible when we played. Like my defense, like there was a holding call every single play.
Yeah.
I remember one drive, Jersey I think he had 4 penalties called on him, and they went from their 10 to our 1 yard line. And he looked at me, and I was like, yo, keep doing it. Just keep.
Yeah. Why not?
Keep doing it. Keep doing
this.
Message. Play your game exactly.
Yeah.
And I was the ref, after the game. The ref looked at us because a lot of these refs are U Sports refs, right?
Exactly, so they know us.
Yeah, exactly. So he came to us. He's like, maybe next time you shouldn't be. You shouldn't do that. He's like, yeah, okay, all right, no problem. But every single play, he was just jamming a receiver.
Yeah,
this guy was a bit smaller, and every single time I just saw the ref looked at me. I just saw the flag in the air, and I was like, whatever it is. Yes, he's gonna have to learn somehow, right?
Yeah, and even when you're rushing, like Brent was saying, it's fun to hit the quarterback, but when you hit the quarterback, you cannot slow down. You need to go and hit him. And now, as a rusher, sometimes you need to slow down to make sure you pick up the flag. If not, it's quarterback interference, and it happens a bunch of times that we had to learn the hard way.
Bit of adjustments to do.
I gotta say, I know, like rushing, like coming off, like when you play rushing flag, like when the quarterback has the ball up, like
Yeah,
not knocking the ball out of their hands,
exactly.
right? Like I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, yeah.
And it's hard
You're
because
just so used to
sometimes
on top of the top.
you wanna put your hand and try to tip the ball, whatever, and create something. In football, it's fun because when you hit the quarterback and he still has the ball and the ball comes out, wow, it's a fumble. But here, it's not a fumble; it's a penalty, no matter what.
Yeah, automatic.
I'm glad you brought that up. Fumbles. What if you can make one rule change, Will, right now to FPF? What would it be? Either offensively or defensively? What would you like to see?
Fumbles,
If you can make one rule change,
fumbles.
like something
If
like would you
someone
want
is
fumbles or
I'm not sure. I think his
I lost Will.
his internet might have got
Hopefully we get
speedy.
him back on. If not, thanks for coming on. Uh, yeah, interesting convo, interesting talk, man. So it's always good. Like I like to get guys who kind of are making the transition from top of the flag in here because I know you and I can relate to it, and there's a lot of other people that watch this podcast who can relate to it. And it's just good to get some other outside voices in here
Yeah,
for
especially their team.
FP.
Their team is doing well too. I know they had an Instagram going as well
Yeah.
too. It was pretty cool. They seem like a bunch of cool guys, and kind of saying like it's nice that the fact they want to get to the next level. Pretty sure he's back.
Oh, yeah, goes back. I think you're getting all excited about like sacking quarterbacks. You knocked off the internet connection or something.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right,
So
so Brent, kind of talking about Division 3, right? So since we're here before we kind of get
yeah.
to the next. Um,
So we're working right now. Will's gonna get back on. Ali Reza is gonna get him back on here. But yeah, he said looking at Division 3 right now, like we said, Le Renard Vis are off this week. Like I said, the next game is against the Banditos. That's on March 23rd. So looking at this week's games, what do we have lined up? We have actually a lot of games this week. So starts all the action starts Sunday, like Nomads, the Petit Cara, Timothy's, Riker. I had a chance to score keep the Big Fat Bats against Timothy games Monday night in San Laurent. Big Fat Bats for 45-32 victory. That game went back and forth, but I hadn't really seen Timothy's play this year.
okay.
They lost, but I came away impressed. Alex Porcha had like 10 catches, 134 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was balling out. The quarterback, Will Bradford, he kind of pulled his hamstring like halfway through the game, but he kept on playing. He tried to like buy some time for his receivers to get open. He was throwing some dimes. There were a couple of drops on their side, unfortunately. But the other side, yeah, Matthew Zeppatelli, sorry, with the big fat bats. He was throwing dimes, mostly to his brother AJ, who had 4 touchdowns on 124 yards and 8 receptions. Nicholas Nez or Knez, 2 touchdowns in the game as a receiver. On defense, he had 2 sacks. He had a back down. This guy was all over the field. Like he picked up a ton of first downs, like short yardage throws, and is breaking a ton of tackles in that. So I came away really impressed. A lot of great athletes on both sides. A big fat bass with the 45-32 and over Himothy's.
Okay. Timothy's are actually you're a brand new team, right? I don't see
Huh?
like not brand new. William, so the quarterback William Bradford,
Yep. He's played before, but he
yeah,
doesn't have a ton of experience.
but he's played junior before, right? He played the Pillow Talkers, and then after that he played junior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played back in his last game was 2022 spring 2022, so he's been off for 4 years.
Well, that's exactly He's been off for 4 years. But I mean, you look at this kid, like he's come in, he has 28 touchdown passes and 12 INTs. I mean, INTs are a little like they're it's not huge. I mean, some people have 12 in the season, but that's not the whole point of saying that is the fact that he's taken off a bunch of years. He's come back. He has 28 touchdown passes. The team's offense wasn't the problem. The team's offense in that loss to Big Fat Bass was not the problem. It was their deep ball defense. They kept on getting torched over and over and over, but you can only do so much. And again, this guy's pretty much playing on one leg pretty much from the halfway point of the game.
Hmm. Okay. But you think it's wise the fact that he's in Division 3, or do you think it would have been better if he went Division 4, maybe 4A,
I
4B?
think well, you know what? I think credit to him, man, for like He wanted to jump in at it's not I want to say Division 4 is more the midway point of FPF, but he said, you know, he wanted to challenge himself. And again, they have weapons on this team. Like they're not void of weapons. Again, there's a couple of drops here and there, and it's the defense. I mean, if they had a bit better of a defense, I significantly think this team right now, looking at the record, yeah, they're 1-6 right now. It's okay. Maybe to answer your question, they probably should have went maybe to 4A or maybe even 4B if they could have fit in there. But you take away some of the mistakes that they made. A lot of their loss to Big Fat Bastards just mistakes that they made in covers. They blown coverages. You take one or two of those away, they win the game and they improve to they go to 2-5, which has them go from all the way to 23rd in the division. They'd be tied right now with like the Banditos and the Ramphants, teams like that.
Yeah, it seems to me like they're what's struggling the most is their defense. They're allowing like they played the Beer Belly Brigade 40. They lost 41-24. Mongoose 47-33. Terror Squad 40-30. Don't Mess of Texas 39-18, and then Big Fat Bats 45. So they're allowing like 40 points per game. I think that's one. I think you're also saying. I think that's one of their biggest issues that their defense is not helping them out at all.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so check it out. So we're gonna finish off. So we'll count some games back. Again, he got all excited about knocking down quarterbacks and stuff and talking about ball that he might have knocked over the router or something. I don't know what happened, but welcome back, sir.
Hey guys, sorry, a little electricity problem, so we're back.
No worries. With the weather outside today, man, like no one's gonna blame you for the electricity. Don't worry about
I know.
it. Yeah.
I know.
Hopefully, I mean, my only complaint is I wish it was a Friday, not a Wednesday. But I mean, hey, whatever. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up with you quick, man. Just again, so right now, just if you can describe it, how much fun are you having right now playing FPF?
A lot of fun, to be honest. It's I look forward every time we have a game as a team to go and play and compete. And what's fun is that every time we win a game, we're trying to make sure that we go and grab a snack or grab something together to make sure we have having fun. And that's FPF is like this. It's like being with your friends, having fun, competing, and after that going out and grab a snack, grab a drink, and just enjoy and have a good time. And I feel that's every time we're playing, we're excited, and we were even talking about maybe creating another team in co-ed and having like more opportunities to play. And I think it's great. It's a great opportunity to be part of FPF.
Okay, nice. Final question. I'll ask you. Um, when you look at your football journey, right? You talked about right. You're in tackle, now
Yep.
you're in flag, you're in coaching. What made you fall in love with the game of football?
I feel watching football on TV, seeing that many fans there and fan base supporting their teams, and even though like it's the weather was impacting the game, it was snow, whatever, rainfall, anything, people were there competing. And I don't know, it's such a great sport because it's physical, everybody could play, whatever the size, whatever your background, you can play football. And the thing is, you need way more than just being a strong man or fast guy. You need to be bright, you need to understand the game, and you need to be able to adjust to things. And that's the best thing. It's like a chess game, but a human nature, like human size, which is good because if you do a certain coverage, you can beat it with whatever play you're doing offensively, and that's exciting. And sometimes if you have good athletes and you know you're better athletes than the other team, just man, you do the man to man, and you try to shut them down, and even though you're getting humble sometimes because the other team is impressive. And I feel every aspects of life is going through in that game, and I feel it's I don't know, it's just great to be able to play that sport.
All right, nice, nice. You,
Uh,
you got a favorite team?
Yeah, for sure. My favorite team is the Denver Broncos since Peyton Manning decided to sign with them a few years ago after he left the Indianapolis Colts, and I've been
Okay.
following them since. And After that, I fall in love with Von Miller. I don't know, you guys for sure know Von Miller, top edge rusher in the league for years before getting traded to the Rams. But he was a dog with the Broncos, won us the Super Bowl against the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, they are my favorite team. They would have probably been able to compete more than the Patriots did with the Seahawks this year if Bo Nix was not injured. But it's another debate that we'll have another time.
Well,
I
shit
hear that.
happens, Injuries happen, so
Listen,
unfortunate. I personally think the Broncos
For
defense
sure.
was definitely one of the best defenses.
yeah,
But
I
again,
think the bonus plays
And
best for the Super Bowl.
defense wins championship.
yeah. But when your offense can't move the ball, I mean, that's also becomes a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quarterback.
Jerry Stidham, man, yeah, that was brutal. All right, man.
Um,
So I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. We'll try to have you on later in the season if you want to come on, man. I appreciate it, brother.
For sure, for sure. Anytime.
All right. Thanks again, man, and good luck the rest of the season.
Peace. No problem.
All right. So that was William Castonguay, again, member of the Les Renards Vif in Division 3. Stand-up dude, former Concordia linebacker, joining us on the pod. So yeah, again, it's always nice to get people on the pod. Like we always say, if you guys want to come out, feel free to let us know, and we'll have you on.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Div 2?
Sorry?
I was gonna say you want to go to Div 2 or
Yeah,
you
well, do you have
want
anything else to say for Division 3 or any games you're kind of looking forward to? I know we didn't really talk much about a lot of the teams. We kind of stayed around. Well, I don't think we talked much about most of the teams. I know we kind of talked. Well, we're kind of talking a bit about him. We talked about a Big Fat Bats and Himothy's a bit, but that's about it regarding teams that we talked about. I don't think that as scheduled as the standings, nothing really changed. I don't really see much of the standings. I know Eastway kind of made a big step up because we didn't really talk about them at all. They're 6-2. Caroline's still doing what they're doing. Actually, to be honest, with you Big Fat Bats, right? That's something we should actually get into a bit. Do you remember how badly they struggled last year?
Yeah, listen, I played against these guys in the spring season, and like, uh, it was pretty much AJ Zeppoletti making pretty much all the plays. I got to give credit though. So the quarterback, the other Zeppoletti. So I'm trying to get his name here. I apologize. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's a good dude. My apologies. I'm horrible with names. Thank you, Matthew Zeppoletti. Thank you. Good dude. I had seen him play. I played against him in the spring. I remember seeing him last winter season. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed at all. I thought this guy was a below average quarterback. To his credit, though, when we met him in the spring season, like he was making some plays. He was able not just to run and to create plays with his legs, but he was making some pretty good throws. And when I saw him for the first time on Monday in Saint Laurent, and it was kind of a continuation of the same thing. Like he's making some plays. He wasn't just relying on his legs. And it's a team that used to be on the bottom, like you're talking about, Quaysie, and they slowly started to make that rise. Like it's a team that's getting better and better each game. They have Cap on the team, Michael Caparelli, obviously, so he can't play quarterback in this division, but he's a good receiver and he's a good leader and a sounding board, I think, for Matthew Zeppoletti. So I think again, just getting more experience and just getting more skill on the roster has been a big reason why they're starting to become one of the better teams.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember last year they won 1-9. I think they 0-10. I don't think they won a game. They did really bad. And to start the year, they went 0-3. So I remember, oh no, sorry, they won the first game and then they were 1-2. And then I didn't like, okay, well, they're 1-2. They're probably gonna have like a really bad season again. Then they went 2-2. Then they went 2-3. And now they've won their last 4 games in a row. They knocked out Banditos.
Banditos.
Yeah, Banditos. They knocked out Banditos. Beat 1 goal, beat Mongoose, and then just beat Himothy. So right now they're 6-3. They sit in the 3rd seed, which is kind of surprising. The fact the season they had before. I thought they were going to struggle a bit more in Division 3, especially with the amount of teams that there is, but right now they're doing a great job. So to talk about them briefly here, the fact that they're kind of back on because they were a good team. So last season they did horrible, but the season before that I believe they did pretty well. So the fact that they weren't 1-9 was surprising. And then starting 1-2, I figured we were going to see the same thing. But good for them. They're 6-3. They've scored the most points for offense right now at 319. Defense isn't the best, allowing 283, but they're leading the pack for points for right now.
Yeah, impressive indeed. Looking forward to next week's games. One game is standing out to me actually. So it's a team we haven't really talked about on the pod, but I've seen a little bit of this year. Nomads. They're coming in, winning 2 out of their last 3 games. They're taking on Le Petit Carotte. That's going to be this Sunday at 5 in Laval. So that's one game I'm looking forward to. And again, like I said, Nomads coming in, winning 2 out of 3. A veteran squad, right? So guys like Tony Curry, Jordan McLaren on a team, Vinci Bionde, right? It's Ezekiel Tyson, instead of playing quarterback like he does on his other team, playing receiver here. He's put up some really good numbers. I'm excited to see what they do. Again, taking a very veteran squad on Les Petits Carottes. Yeah, right now, looking at the standings, I believe the Nomads right now are sitting in 15th place, right? So they have a 3-5 record. Sorry, 3-5 record. Again, taking on the Petit Carrots, who are in the 5th place with a 5-1 record. So obviously, if Nomads can get a big upset, they could definitely climb the standings.
Yeah, they definitely want to start winning games too, because they only have 2 games left, right? So the fact that they drop the next 2, they'll finish 3-7.
Yeah.
Again, the Pizzica, it's not going to be an easy walk in the park. There's a reason why they're a top 5 team right now, and they're always a good team. I don't usually see them struggling. I think Pizzica started in like Division 6, and right now they're in Division 3. And then they play. And Nomads play Eastway, so there's a good probability that this team loses the next 2, which they do not want, because right now they're in the 5th seed. They're in playoff. They're in a playoff spot, but Bullhawks is right under them. Ramfins are right under them. Mongoose, bet the under. There's so many teams that are only 1 game away from them, so they definitely going to want to win at least one of the last 2 games that they're going to be playing.
Yeah,
if they want to make playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they have, like I said, they're gonna have to go one out of the last 2 for sure to really solidify that spot. Because if not, right, like you said, if they lose their last 2, there's a ton of teams, like you said, right, that are in some cases are 1 point behind them, like the Ball Hawks. But then you have the Banditos, the Rampions, like I said, Mangoose, Bet the under, like I said, they're only 2 points behind Nomad. So you don't want to get into that tiebreaker scenario where a bunch of teams are tied points wise.
Yeah, and then
if you're Nomad, you control your own destiny right now, is what it is.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You win the next 2 games, and you guys are in. If you win at least 1, you might still have like the something on your back when you're kind of every week you're going to kind of be looking at the schedule, trying to see who's playing who. Then you have to start doing math, points against. Oh, this team has to make sure that they score more than 30 on them. I think that's the biggest crazy. That's the craziest thing, and that's why I love playoffs. When, especially for us, the fact that we're kind of looking at scenarios and kind of situations. I know when I played my division, I kind of look at it, but when I'm looking at other divisions and teams, I'm like, yo, this team actually has to make sure they win, and if they do win, the other team that they need to lose has to lose by more than 32, and it's kind of interesting. And I'm sure for teams too that some teams actually don't realize or they don't care or they don't really know about it much because they're just kind of not locked in. But some teams are kind of there and they're like, I've seen players show up at games and watch the game. But now technology is a bit different, and we're faster on reposting games and stuff like that. But I remember back in the day, let's just say you were fighting for a playoff spot and you needed a team to win and their game was at 9 p.m. Trust me, you were at that game and you were watching the game and you're there. Like, say you maybe 2 or 3 buddies come, but you're talking in the group chat. You're like, yo, the score is this, the score is that. It's a bit different now how technology works and how scorekeepers can kind of see the game right away. But it's still interesting to kind of see when teams are kind of actually struggling to get in or not struggling to get in and stuff like that. So
it's funny, like you would get that, or if it's a team you knew you were playing in the playoffs, you get at least 2 or 3 or 4 people from a team or from your team if you're playing against, and they would show up. One person would be recording the game on their phone. I remember a buddy of mine used to send his girlfriend in Lachine up into the rafters, like the high area. There's like a walkway, and she would like record like on a camcorder. She'd record the games
Mm.
and see what they're doing on defense, and we have like film study and stuff, and yeah,
Yeah.
tons of stuff, tons of stuff. And
But
now
also,
people just they get the tripod out with their
yeah,
phone and they're
exactly.
recording and stuff like that.
The game has changed so much. Like even though like
True.
when
True.
I started in 2014, 15, but like it's changed so much compared to even like as you're kind of saying. I remember like now we don't really do it as much because again there's conflict schedules and teams playing guys playing on 4 teams, and we can't have like usually what used to happen was you used to have all the game if you played division let's say you did play Division 3, all the games in Division 3 were happening.
Right after this.
Yeah, either
Yeah,
right after
yeah,
each other or
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
at the same time. You know, so
Yeah.
you either had the
Yeah.
benefit of playing first and then staying and watching the rest of the games, or playing at the same time, but kind of looking to see what's going on the other side because
Mhm.
you were like up by 18, you're like, okay, yo, who are we playing next? Like, what's going on over here? You want to kind of see who you're playing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they lose, and it was like a big thing. I know it's a bit different now. I don't feel like it's the same because one, a lot of the games are spaced out. Like you can play a game here, and then you have to go play over here. But it's still
Yeah.
like,
More
interesting to
feels,
see
more things.
how things have
Very.
changed.
One thing I like though is like speaking to your point is like games being. I remember talking to Rob about this years ago. Like I hated playing a playoff game, and then your opponent would play after you, like sometimes an hour or two after you. So they would be there for sure. I'm like, Rob, if you're gonna have like quarterfinals or semifinal games on the same day, the same field, they got to be at the same time.
Yes, yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah.
It's a huge disadvantage.
Oh, 100%. I remember playing Jaeger Bomb. I remember we were in the semifinals. And we lost, I think, by 4 points. We got screwed. This is the one time I'll blame a ref. We got called. Our rusher Zach got called for an offside. He was not offside. He didn't even budge. The referee didn't like us. The referee, J.R. Bosoli, I think was his name. I'm gonna call him out. This dude played on a team called No Name, and we hated those guys, and we smoked him in the first round of the playoffs. And then he's reffing our semifinal game. He called Zach offside. Zach didn't move him up. He's still mad about this, as I am to this day. We were playing Jager Bomb. We sacked Simon Deschez, and we were like offside, and gave them a first down because it was like 4th and 3. So they got the first down, the end of the game, whatever. We were playing, so Jesse Dupui's team at the time with the Alpha T's. So there's like Jesse Dupuis, Matthew Hu, all those guys. They were sitting in the stands like 10 yards, like in Broussard, right? So you know how you're on the sideline and then you
Yeah,
have the stands right on top. So we're here and they're sitting right on top of us watching the game. And I remember Jesse after the game was like, I'm glad we're not playing you guys. Because we had played them in the regular season, we had beat them. And so that team was like me and AJ and a bunch of other cats, like Dom, Benevento, and those guys, Sean Abram. We had a really stacked team. We got screwed out of the championship, at least making a championship, but it is what it is. Anyways, yeah, having playoff games, quarterfinals, semifinals, divisional round, whatever, have them at the same time if they have to be on the same field.
especially semifinals. Semifinals, I think it has to be because it's only two. It's only
Yeah.
2 games, right? It's, well,
Yeah.
teams
Well,
that
okay, yeah,
have
you're
it,
right. You're right.
so,
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
You should, especially. I feel like division, maybe like Division 1, 2. It's like whatever because everyone's kind of used to seeing what they're doing. But when you hit like Division 4, 5, like some of these teams you've never seen before, you know. So the fact that you could kind of could like get a little extra like film review, you want to say to see what they do. So you're not like so you're not going in the game surprise, you know. But it's a disadvantage if one team surprised, other team's not surprised.
True.
Okay, let's go to Division
Yeah,
2.
man. Yeah, exactly.
Division 2 is actually starting. Division 2 is going to be crazy. To be honest with you, I'm in Division 2. I'm kind of looking at the schedule and seeing how things are. It's going to be bumpy. If it's going to be bumping if everything that I think is going to happen happens, right? So Division 2, there is 4 teams that don't make playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, so in total there's 12. There's 4 teams that are not making playoffs, right? And I said it before, I was talking to the guys, and I was like, the like a lot of good teams are at the bottom that should be in the top, and a lot of bad teams they're at the top should be like in the middle. So it makes things very difficult where you have like a party crasher team that's 1-5. You have a shot o'clock team like me that's 2-5. Hard 8, a team that's pretty that literally won last year's Division B. I want to say did they win?
Yeah, in Division B.
Yeah, they won Division B. They're 3-4. You know, so they're above 500. And then you have teams that I figured maybe would struggle a bit. The Stoics, they're 4-3. Campy Boutte, 4-2. LeBron Taraj, I think they would have struggled a bit more. I thought they were going to be a team above about maybe
Really?
4-6. Yeah, 4-6, 5.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I to be honest, I thought because again, I think the biggest issue for them is their quarterback. I think that's the biggest issue, and I think to me is that's where I don't see them winning a championship this year. I think their quarterback is going to be their downfall.
We're gonna disagree on that one. We're gonna disagree on that one. 100% me and you're gonna disagree on that one. But continue on.
Okay, but I think that's going to be their downfall. I think when it comes to playoffs, I think he's not going to have that playoff experience. I think when he plays versus a good defense that understands what he's doing, he's going to have a really bad time. So I think, to be honest with you, I see them getting knocked out the first round, and that's just my.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I
All
think
right.
they get knocked out the first round. But again, as I was saying, I think it's going to be very interesting how playoffs work. Teams like, again, my team is one team that's we kind of have to win out to that point. But teams like, let's just say KGP, they only played 4 games, so they just have to win maybe 2 more games, and they're in their playoff spot. But teams like Hard 8, right? Hard 8 has 3 games left, and I talked to Jeff about this last week, but they kind of also have to win out as well too. They play Campy Boutte tonight, then they play Bruins, and then they play Silent Ticklers. If they lose, let's just say they go. Jeff was saying, Jeff's gonna say they're gonna go 3-0. It's part of his team, but let's just say they go 1-2 for some reason, right? And they finish the season 4-6, right? They go 4-6. So you have a team like my team, Shot O'Clock. We're 2-5. We're struggling, but we're pretty lucky on the back end. We played Bruins, which is going to be pretty hard for us, but then we played LaVerge Foles, and then we played Party Crashers our last game. It's to a point where Party Crashers is struggling. I don't know what's going on with them. Hopefully they struggle when they play us. But if they lose the next 2 games, like, they know they're not making playoffs, and the point they're just gonna come and play for fun, right? So that's gonna be an advantage for our guys because we're like, okay, they're just here for fun. We're trying to win a game, but it's to a point where a lot of teams right now still have to win out. Like, you have the teams like Bruins, whatever, they're fine as long as you win 5 games. I think you're fine. But if you're in the category where you have 4 games, like, you still have to win at least 1 more game to secure your spot.
Oh, for sure, yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, you shouldn't be satisfied making the playoffs at 4-6, right? I mean,
no,
you can win a championship, but I mean, really,
but
yeah,
you'll take it 4-6. Like, if my team goes 4-6 and make playoffs, like, I mean, I'll be happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. But
right, yeah, okay.
You take it when things come, but like, for us, it's impossible because we lose so many tiebreakers. So we have to I told my guys, I'm like, we have to win out. If we don't win out, we're pretty much screwed. 4-6 is not going to get us in unless like Hard 8 drops the next 3 games. Stoics have to drop the next 3 games. That's pretty much our only chance of getting in with 4-6. Other than that, we kind of have to win out, which, to be honest, we can. Our biggest issue, I think our biggest problem is going to be the Bruins. We play Le Verge Flow after. I think that should be I think that's going to be a good game, but I think we should win that game. And then we played Party Crashers, and Party Crashers have been struggling. Depends what type of Party Crashers we get. But I mean, I'd rather play a team that's one in the size. That's play maybe they're 2-6, 2-7, compared to playing like a Idaho Utah team that's like going to be probably 6-3 in that situation.
So I'm just looking at it right here, right? So with KGP Legends, right, like you said, we didn't play 4 games. They're actually off. So they've only played 4, but then they've had a bye week. They're gonna have a bye week of pretty much like 5 weeks. Their last game was February 15th. The next game is March 22nd. So not even this Sunday. It's like the Sunday after, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 11 days from now. So they play Silent Ticklers, Leverage Full, Slag Flayer Corp, Party Crashers, Idaho Utah Pimps, and Stoics. So out of those 6 games, they should win at least 4 of those. Well, you never know, stuff can happen, but they should win at least 4. I think their playoff spot is pretty much solidified.
Yeah, they should be fine. They should be fine. Especially the fact that they play the Verge Full and they play Flag Store Corp. Those are like 2 games where it should be winnable. they play a struggling party crasher team and right now. Like they should at least go 3-3 80% of the time.
Yeah. Hard day. So like we said tonight, big matchup against Camp That's a huge matchup for both teams, really. And then they said after that they have the Bruins next Sunday, and then they finish off the Sunday after against the Silent Ticklers. So they could go 3-0, like Jeff's saying, but they could also go 0-3.
Yeah.
So there's a distinct possibility of 0-3, 2-1, 1-2. So then they have one of those records. I don't think it's going to be 3-0. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to finish 3-0. And then you look at the Stoics, right? The Stoics, 3 games remaining for them. Their schedule sees them play. If we come up on my computer,
They have Idaho,
yeah.
Silent Ticklers, and the KGP.
Yeah, so there you go, right? Again, that's not a walk in the park.
That's
So again, well, that's it, yeah. So you guys will probably have to win out to get in. At the very worst, you lose maybe one game, and then you have to get a lot of help. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's where we're looking at, and in our heads, again, like it might be a thing where we lose so many tiebreakers. That's the issue with us, that we lose the tiebreaker on the Stoics. So like that's the reason why if we win 4 and the other team wins 4, like we still get screwed over. Even our points against, our points against is 218, Stoics is 201, Hard 8 is 226. So we'll beat Hard 8 in points against, but we also didn't play them this season. But we don't want like a tie break. We can't afford tie break for certain teams. Like Camby Brute, they drop the next 4, they still beat us tie break. Stoics beat us week 1, so they beat us tie break. So us, to be honest with you, like we have to win out. Like in our head, it's win. Like we're going in every single game playoffs. Like it's no like our playoffs.
That's how you should be doing. Yeah, 100%.
Our playoffs start literally last week when we played. Flag Slayer Corp. You're at that game. Like that was a playoff game for us. To the end of the day, that's where we start playing. We started playoffs on Saturday, and then we're just every single game for us is going to be a playoff game.
Yeah. Essentially, and that's how to look at it, because it is going to be like a playoff game. It's going to be, you're going to need that playoff push to get into the playoffs, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly it.
All right.
Looking at the games of Week 10, Bruins actually lost their first game of the season. They lost versus Idaho Utah 42-40.
Yep.
So no more undefeated teams. Bruins get their first loss of the season. Idaho kind of shows why they won last season as well too. I think Hard 8 won 2 seasons ago. Idaho won last season. I would like to say that. The last teams that won past championships, like, and this is Division 2, and base Division 2 is like B, or I think it was B, and then it was Division 2 or Tier 2. It's like the same thing, category. But so we had that game. Shuttle Clock, we won our game that kind of basically kept us in the playoffs. Silent Ticklers won a big one versus LeBron Dodge. I got to watch some of that game. Stoics put a beat down to Le Verge Full. And then LeBron Dodge loses versus Silent Ticklers, but they beat Hard 8. So that's a big win for them as well too. That kind of, they get a bad loss and they get a big win, which is pretty good for my team that Hard 8 lost that game, because if they won, they would have been one step closer. And then we get Camby Brute versus Hard 8 tonight, which is also going to be a good team. I think the winning team of that is one step closer to make playoffs 100%. I think if Camby Brute wins that, I think they're officially in. I think they're officially in 5-5. Let's say they go 5-5. I think they'll be fine. But again, we didn't really talk about their schedule. They play Hard 8. If they lose that game, they play LeBron Tourage. That's going to be a hard game for them. They play Bruins, and they play Party Crashers. So again, they could go 0-4 as well too. You know, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but they can for sure. They can.
I think if they don't beat Hard 8, do you think they beat LeBron Tourage?
Yeah. It's hard to say. So I honestly think Cappy Bouquet is going to beat Hard 8, to be honest with you. But let's say they don't, like you're saying. They could beat. Can they beat LeBron Tourage? I think they can. You talked about before, right, about the quarterback on Philip Pelletier. You're talking about for LeBron Tourage. I've seen this guy play. Like I saw him play collegiately at Champlain. He's a great quarterback. I've seen him play a little bit here in FPF. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I know you were talking before, right, about how you're surprised. Okay, actually, let me answer your question. I think Campy Boutte can be LeBron Taraj. Will they? No, I don't think so. But they definitely can. Like, if we come back and we're like, okay, so Campy Boutte knocked him off, wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's a veteran team, Campy Boutte, right? These guys have been to the mountaintop before. They have depth and they have chemistry and they have winning experience, which is you can't underrate that. Do they have the athletes to go up against LeBron Taraj? No, but they're a veteran team that knows what they're doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Campy Boutte wins. Do I expect him to win? No, I expect LeBron Taraj to get the W. But going to your point from before about how you think some of the teams on the bottom should be at the top and some of the teams at the top should be in the middle. LeBron Toronto has always been one of the top teams in every division that they played in. I'm not surprised that they come now to Division Two and doing the same thing. They upgraded their roster, right? They went from Gianni Cassetti, who was a quarterback when they were in the spring season. He's a great athlete. He's like a punt returner slash kick returner at Con U. Is he really a quarterback? No, he's just a really good athlete that can throw a ball. You put in Phil Pelletier, who has experience playing quarterback. You add Emerson onto the team. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Dante Spiragna, you guys been there forever. Jeremy Murphy, right? I mean, the Concordia guy, along with guys like Ahmed Boubacar, Clausens Clavo. I'm not surprised. Like, these guys are doing what they're doing. Hard eight, you talked about before, one of those teams is kind of lower in the standings. It should be on top. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. But then their roster isn't as good as it usually is, and the roster they have a bunch of subs on their team for the most part. Like Hard Eight, it hasn't been a consistent roster like we usually see from Jeff Rosenblatt's squad, right? So that I think that's one reason why they're where they are in the standings because you look at Jeff, right? Jeff, Paul up here, of course, we're talking about Sanders and Mac Desor, very underrated addition. Those are the only four guys on this team have played more than 4 games. Everyone else is like Gab Shaw's Dab Champagne, 4 games. Jacob Saxon, 4 games. A bunch of guys have 2 and 1 and another one. Like they have no roster consistency. That's why they're struggling. It has nothing to do with their talent. Just they don't have the same roster week in, week out. That's why they're struggling. Even Beastbot played 2 games. They've had Thomas, they've had you. I don't think you actually played on the team, but Thomas Couture, Jeremy White, Noah Groper, usually Macy on his team, 1 game. Charles Verrill, 1 game. Nick DeMalo, Nick Gropini, 2 games. All this roster, not roller coaster, but in and out every week. Like there's no continuity.
No,
That's why they're struggling.
It's hard to have a successful season when you have subs on and off. That's probably.
Yes. So you got to put some respect on LeBron James' name. That's a serious team. You're saying so. Ali Reza, use this as a clip. You're saying that you said before you think they're going to be one and done in the playoffs. You're sticking to that?
Well, okay, wait. Let me rephrase what I said.
No, that's what you said you would be surprised if LeBron James is one and done.
I would not be surprised if they lose the first matchup. If whoever they play against, unless because there's no way. Okay, so if we're looking, let's just say we're looking at the teams that are in the playoffs right now, right? So let's just say you take LeBron Taraj playing the 2 seed versus the 7 seed. If they play versus KGP, I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if KGP beats LeBron Taraj. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, like okay, that's an upset. I think to be honest with you, I would be fine with it. But going from the 8 team, let's say taking the 8 teams that are making playoffs, right? So you have Bruins, LeBron Taraj, Idaho, Campy Brute, Silent Ticklers, the Stodics, KGP, Hard 8. If LeBron Taraj plays any of these teams, I would not be surprised if they lost. Would I be surprised if they won? Depending who it is. If they play Silent Ticklers, I think Silent Ticklers wins that game. If they play the only team, I'll be kind of surprised that they maybe Hard 8. If they play Hard 8, if they beat Hard 8 beats them, that's probably the only team I'd be surprised. And they beat just because again we're kind of saying Hard 8's roster is not consistent. So Hard 8 could also be a team that's gonna struggle in the playoffs because they're not gonna their regular season games are not gonna translate well when it comes to playoffs. But yeah, again, I'll stand what I said. Yeah, I think I'll stand what I said. LeBron James is gonna lose the first game of the playoffs.
I think right now, I think if LeBron James played the Stoics first round of the playoffs, I'd be surprised if the Stoics won.
Why, Chris?
Yeah, I
Chris
noticed. I said Chris, great dude, and I watched a bit of the game against Liverpool Fall on Saturday. Against Broussard. It was last Saturday. I want to say,
but they didn't
last
have
Thursday.
games last Saturday.
Sorry, no, last Thursday. Sorry, it was last Thursday. I believe I saw them.
I don't think
Yeah,
they didn't have
no,
James.
Sunday. Yeah, I'm doing so many shifts lately. I replaced somebody on Sunday, so it was Sunday. I saw LeBron the Stoics against Liverpool, and I mean Isaac Paquette. I hadn't heard of him before. I saw him. I was impressed. Jeremy Jean-Jean, good player. Seen him a lot, but like Edouard Larue, okay, fine, and Mike Pierce, San Angelo, Morilatos. They have some good players on the team. Obviously, Alexis Dubois, one of the top players on defense. I just don't think they can match up athletically and even size wise with
No,
some of the guys in the trash.
to be honest, I think the Stoics probably have the. If you take away James Drysdale, I think they probably have the.
Worst roster.
Sorry,
I think they have maybe not the worst roster, but one of the
not
worst
the worst,
rosters.
but I would say they have the weakest. They do have veterans, like Alex.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Alex Zabri is not the best athlete, but he understands football. So it's advantage. You have Angelo more.
Yeah, Morilatos.
Yeah,
good.
again,
He's good.
a guy that's been in the league for a while. He's not the most athletic, but he understands how to play defense. I think with Chris, to be honest, if Chris just plays how he plays, takes away the clock, eats the clock, and it comes down to it where Chris is if Stoics make it far this year, it's gonna be on Chris. It's gonna be their defense trying to at least get one stop. I think that's probably gonna be the biggest issue, but also ball
management.
Ball management, yeah, exactly. Clock management.
Clock management. Yeah.
Clock management. It's gonna be on Chris and clock management. Where the point is, Chris wants the ball with a minute left in the game, where he scores and he wins the game. The game's over.
Yeah.
So,
I've been a victim of that plenty of times at the hands of Chris Rive. He's great at doing that.
That's exactly time management, making sure, okay, guys, if they score, it's fine. They go up by 5. He has to make sure he gets his converts, do the math for that. But the team scores, they miss their convert, they go up by 5. Chris has the ball, 1 minute left to go. Chris does Chris ball. That's all. I feel like that's how Chris wins those tight games. When people are like, oh, how did they win their game? Chris. You do have the James Drysdale that's gonna blow you over the coverage, but time management for Chris, I think it's gonna be key. Yeah. And he's been doing a great job for it. He's been in the league for a while. 100%. Understands how it works. So yes, Stoics have the weakest roster. I think by far they have the weakest roster. Take away James Drysdale, you don't have any big also Mike Persay. I'm not gonna disrespect Mike like that, but you take away those two guys, and it's like you look at the roster, you're like, oh, okay, like whatever, A lot of teams, if you take away 2 guys, you're just like, oh, there's this guy, and then there's this guy. Oh, then you have this guy, and you have this guy. I think Stoics is probably the only roster where you can't really say that.
Yeah, I mean, well, you take away James Drysdale. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I think you're 100% right. Like, you're spot on with that. I equate Chris, and this is not an insult to Chris. I've known Chris for a long time. Man, he's a Derrick Henry fan. I equate Chris to like that ball control offense where, like I said, minute and a half left. You march down the field, you dink and dunk your way up the field. You may have a couple handoffs here to get a couple yards and melt the clock, and then you blink, and then he's in your red zone with like 20 seconds left, and it's like first and goal or something like that.
Yeah,
and then he'll kill you with like a sharp throw to end the game. This is a scrappy team, and that's how I would describe Chris. Is like he's a grizzled vet, but he's scrappy, like he's tough. He doesn't go down without a fight. That's how I would describe his team. Now, going against a team of studs and athletes, right, and guys who are and some of them at least are younger, not all of them for LeBron when compared to the Stoics, but one team is top athletes from like top to bottom, the other team not as much. With the Stoics, there are some athletes, don't get me wrong, but it's not like through 1 all the way through Z in their lineup. I just think, speaking to my main point, is I'd be surprised a little bit if the Stoics knocked off LeBron Charge if they played each other in the first round of the playoffs.
But you do know playoffs is a whole different game.
100%. 100% it is. 100%.
Playoffs football is a whole different game, and I just feel like the veterans of Stoics, they have more vets on the team where they could come
But they
back.
haven't been together as long.
Sorry?
But they
Yeah,
haven't.
but
The
it's
Stoics,
still,
the
yeah,
Stoics haven't been together as long.
sometimes it doesn't matter if you're not playing with the guy for the past 2-3 years. It's also just knowing your situation. Mike has been playing for so long. Alexi Dubois has been playing so long.
True.
Angelo has been doing so long. Chris, like it's guys where it's the fact where they're not a team that's been playing forever, but it's to the point where if Chris throws an interception, it's not like you're pointing fingers and you're kind of panicking. I think they still be fine for the mistakes that they do. A team like the LeBron Entourage, I think if a drop pass where a guy drops a ball ends up in a defender from Stoics happens, I think that could be a whole turnaround compared to if it happened for the Stoics. I think they're able to bounce back from it compared to a team like the Entourage where they're younger guys and they don't have that much playoff experience.
True. I mean, compared to some of the guys on LeBron, on Stoics, no. But I mean, they do have a decent amount of playoff experience together as a group. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens, right? It's an upgrade at quarterback from Cassetti to Pelletier. We'll see what happens, right? And like you're right, playoffs are a different animal, but sometimes football is just one-on-one matchups. Sometimes, right? You let your athletes do what your athletes need to do, and you'll make a play. I have more faith in the entirety of the roster for LeBron Entourage than I do for the Stoics to make a play in that situation. You have your James Drysdale if he plays enough games to qualify, and obviously Mike will be there. He's already qualified. Angelo as well, underrated player Angelo, especially defensively. Paquette and Chartrand. I'm just saying, like, yeah, Boubacar, you have a lot of guys on that LeBron Entourage team that can make plays, and some of the guys like we talked about before with Will, right? Some guys at the U Sports level who are making a ton of plays. They also come down here in FPF and do the same thing too. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron Entourage beats the Stoics if they play in the playoffs.
All right. Let's go to Division 4.
Cool.
So Division 4, here we go.
4A?
Yeah, 4A. Yeah, we'll go 4A and we'll go to 4B and then we'll go all the way up. Sorry, let me just open this. Okay, yeah. So Division 4, 4A. Sorry. So we had a couple games. I think I want to say I talked about a bit Ambush and Rick and Marty. Ambush got completely destroyed 38-8, so not the best start for him. I want to say, sorry, just looking at the thing. So he had Gab at quarterback that game. Not the best game. He went 8 for 19, 110 yards, 1 TD, 2 INTs. And then Matty Freeman had a pretty good game, 18 for 30, 176 yards, 5 TDs, 1 INT. Are you surprised of the score of 38-8 for this game, or kind of like it's like?
I'm a bit surprised because Gab's played quarterback before. I mean, this is definitely not one of his better outings. He did struggle, like you said, right? In the game, uh, eight completions, 2 INTs. Marty Freeman, though, I'm not surprised. Marty Freeman's been a solid quarterback in this league now for a while with his team. I mean, and he's played with all these guys for a long time, like Noah Groper, Jonathan Perez. So even got Corey Sim Robertson's been in the league for a long time. I know him from 35 plus, but he's been in the league for a long time. A lot of guys making some plays. Shout out to the homie Michael Schiller, a touchdown in that game to go along with 2 pass deflections and 3 sacks. Definitely an up and coming player in FPF. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm a little bit shocked because I mean, you look at this ambush team, right? I mean, Phil Roberts, one of the mainstays. Anthony Drysdale was there. A couple of the cats. But yeah, Gab struggled. I'm surprised they scored only 1 touchdown. But again, it's because of the struggles from the quarterback position in that contest.
Yeah, kind of. Sorry, I was just looking at a stat thing, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, so that's my game. Does anything else kind of look? That was my game that kind of was kind of surprised about. Anything kind of looked out to?
Quick trap stars beating Nut and Run 35-28. Ryan Garber 5 touchdown passes, 4 of them went to Noah lead line. So solid effort by him. And yeah, for me, that's pretty much about it.
Okay. Moving to next. Well, I guess there's two more games tonight. You have Mofos versus Team Isig, and then Bible Study versus Dak to the Future. That's going to end up for week 10. For week 11. What?
Huh? Oh, Oh yeah, so actually, yeah, that's right. Because so I heard the games are back on, but okay, we're being told now that the games tonight are canceled because of the weather. That's okay. Yeah, so no, that's a good thing for safety. It's a good thing, and hope everyone's staying safe out there. All right, let's go to Division 4. So for the games that are next week, I mean, we can get to them next week again because we got to figure out what's going to happen with the Mofos and Team Ethnic and Bible Study Back to the Future. Let's go to 4B. Yeah, so so I was looking at the schedule here for 4B. Yeah, so we have one game left. Again, it's supposed to be tonight, but that's going to be canceled. Dirty Dogs against Grab a Leaf. So that game, yeah, is going to be canceled for sure. So I know next week we have, starting Saturday, we have two games. Flight School VC, Balls Deep, one goal against No Flags Given. Then on Sunday, Brewers, Grab a Leaf, and Super Saiyans against, again, Flight School VC. This past week, we had a couple of games take place. I mean, yeah, so the one goal, so obviously one goal, 60-0 over the Packers. That looks to be a forfeit. A lot of blowouts in week 10, but a couple of close ones. Bandits knocking off the Studs 42-35. No Flags Given beating Case of 12 or Castadu's 41-40. And yeah, kind of a shootout there. So I didn't get a chance to see this game. I wasn't at Statty Bear, but Uncle Rico's Riders 57-44 victory over the Dirty Dogs. So obviously a ton of points scored between those two teams. Again, 57-44 win for Uncle Rico's Riders. Combined for 101 points. That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of points scored. I was kind of looking at I was saying Packers forfeit their one game, and then they beat Super Saiyans. I got to watch Super Saiyans play last week. I want to say where they ended up losing to Super Saiyan. Sorry, going back down. Yeah, sorry. I got to watch Super Saiyans play. They're not a bad team at all. To be honest, they're okay. They just struggle for small things. Jordan Allard's kind of just having sometimes when you're just having like a bad season, and it's just like
Yep.
it's one of those years where you're just having a bad season and you just kind of have to brush it off, and then come back stronger next season. I think it's that. I think they have enough talent on the team. They just it's like kind of saying when bad things are gonna happen, bad things happen. If the ball's like you throw a ball to your receiver, he tips in the air, it gets interception, another team gets a pick six, like just stuff like
Yeah.
that where you're just like it just happens, So I think that's a season that they're having this year. Hopefully they're able to bounce back and we see them again next year. I think they'll be fine
Yeah.
in the same division ish like that. They're just gonna have to have a better start and just hope things kind of fall on the better side, but on the better end for them for most situations, stuff like that. Going into week 11, we have four of the games. Fight School versus VC, Balls Deep, one goal, no fights given. Brewers, Grab and Leave. Super Saiyan versus Fight School. Fight School plays 2 times this week, so that's pretty interesting to see. They're actually 3-3 as well too, so I think everyone's kind of fine. It's gonna be Gabba Leafs game is gonna be pretty big against they play Dirty Dog. So that's gonna be a big game. That's gonna be a big game for them because right now in the standings they are seven. They're at 13. They're 2-5, and they definitely gonna need a win to kind of jump here. To kind of jump uh, Dirty Dogs, and Dirty Dogs are actually in the 12th seed, right above them. So if they could beat them, they'll jump them. But if they lose against them, they get one step further back. So that's definitely going to be the game of the week. The winner of that game gets a better spot to qualify for playoffs, and the loser gets it's a harder. They put themselves in a harder situation to make a playoff spot.
Yeah. Definitely a harder road for sure to qualify.
Mm-hmm. I think that's about it. I mean, for this division, I think we could go into 5.
Go to 5A.
Yeah, 5A. Sorry.
5A. Yeah, 5A. Yeah, so look at 5A here again. One game supposed to be tonight. Again, it's probably not going to happen. Code Red taking on Vicious Secret. I just had a chance to talk to Rob Way from Code Red right now. Things are a little in flux with the roster. Big win a couple weeks ago for the team. Right now, they got to kind of win out to make the playoffs. So I mean, hopefully, we're wishing the best of luck. Hopefully, they can do that. Looking forward to this coming week. There are 3 games Saturday. Super Bach against unsportsmanlike conduct. Pigeons kicking assets. Spartans against Saint Jean Vanny alumni. And then Sunday there's only 1 game. Texas Wales Ice Up. And then Monday Speed Academy Junior. Not fast, just furious. Unsportsmanlike conduct again in action against Saint Jean Vanny alumni. And then Wednesday next week, 7 days from now, wraps up with Toon Squad against the Via Lynx. Looking at any games from this past week, I mean, they stood out. Couple close games in this one. A lot of close games actually. For me, I'm gonna go with I had a chance to I heard about that. I didn't see it, but I heard about this game. Not Fast Just Furious 33-28 victory over Victoria's Secret. That took place Monday night at Stade Soccer there in Papineau. So yeah, 3 touchdown performance by Stephen Quaysie, and someone on our one of our guests here, one of our hosts there, Quaysie got him off 3 touchdown passes in the contest. Talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, not much to say. Yeah, there's not really much to say. They played good. I don't really want I don't want to get into it. But no, it was a back and forth game. I kind of messed up going to the second half. We got the ball with a minute and a half left. I ended up going 4 and out. I gave the ball back to them with like 30 seconds left. They scored. They went up by 7. So the first half was 21-14. We stopped them in the second half. I got the ball back. I scored. Then they scored. And then they ended up stopping us again. Then we stopped them. We got the ball back down 13, I want to say it was. No. We got the ball back when we were down 11. I scored like right away. Went for the onside attempt. I had a really good design play that I thought was going to work. I was having troubles breaking the rusher, but this time I don't know. I gave him a left step, came back right. He flew like he was gone, and I was about to make a throw, and I decided to just use my legs. I think his defender was William Sagni. I think the quarterback. He kind of came down. I gave him a left to right, got towards the sideline, extended my arm out, kind of like. Also, I won't lie, I kind of dove a bit too. I thought I was past the line of scrimmage. I thought I passed it. I ended up getting also kind of pushed to the side too, so I ended up falling, scraped my whole arm here, which I haven't like a really disgusting turf bird, which I haven't had literally turf birds in the past like 4 years because I don't dive as much. But unfortunately, refs didn't see it the same way. Said I was short, gave the ball back to them. They pretty much called like 3-4 plays, got a first down, and we ended up losing 33-28. So unfortunately for us, that didn't help us for our game. It brought us down to I think we're 2-6 now, or 2-5, and that made them 2. I think they're 2-5-1. So they end up jumping us in the standings where it's coming down to like the last couple games left. So we're definitely gonna have to win out. Winning that game would have helped a lot, but 3 more games left, so still a lot of football left to be played.
Yeah, look at it right now. You guys are 1-5, I think, right now.
No, 2-5.
Sorry.
2-5.
Yeah, 2-5. Yeah, 2-5. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and they went. They're 2-5-1 now, so they have a tie break. They have a tie break on us, and they have a tie. They have extra point because they have a tie.
Right. Yeah. So again, the game against Code Red, obviously that's not gonna happen. But I mean, speaking of Victoria's Secret, not gonna happen tonight. But again, it'll be rescheduled. Like all the games will be rescheduled or canceled tonight. So just stay tuned. Make sure to keep on logging on to the website, and as soon as the information is released, it'll be on there, and the rescheduling every game will happen for sure.
It's gonna be very interesting for the games to be rescheduled because there's 20 games played tonight, right? So that means there's 20 games that have to be rescheduled. I'm hoping I get like a back-to-back game where like I'm playing already, like at 8 and I can play at 9 or something like that. It'd be pretty cool They better
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I have to play at like 6 o'clock in Broadstar and then 11 o'clock in St. Leo. I'm gonna be pissed. But anyways, it is what it is. Going to week 11, so it's pretty tight for the bottom teams, like looking for the playoffs for this division. We have playoffs again. We've mentioned so many times. I'm just going to re-mention it again and again and again. There's 22 teams in this division. 14 make it. Right now, the bottom teams. There's so many teams right now are 2-6, 2-5, 2-5, 2-5, and then looking out, and then teams that are right now are in are we have a bunch of teams that are 2-4, 2-5, 3-4, 3-4. So it kind of takes this one team to kind of get a win. They jump up and they bring a team down. So still a lot of football still a lot of football to happen, and no one's safe. Like I think if you're in the top 9, I think if you're like you have 4 wins, you're fine. But if you're in the top 10 right now, like deep balls that are 3-4-1, no point 10 and 3-4-1, like yeah, your ties does help. But yeah, I think you have to win at least 4 games if you want to make playoffs. Maybe 5 for some teams, depending what's going to happen with the next teams, like my team, Toon Squad, Unsport Conduct, TD Bros. Like a lot of these teams they are struggling a bit, but it takes maybe 1 or 2 wins to kind of get a jump on other teams, like a kicking acid team that's 3-4, and no pun intended, that's 3-4-1. Like any Super Raw, any teams like that, if they end up losing the next 3, they can't feel as comfortable thinking they're going to make a playoff spot.
Yeah, so no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I think for me, I one game I'm looking at next week, just quickly here. Texas Wales against Ice Up. Looking at the standings, these are 2 teams separated by 2 points. So Texas Wales sitting at 6-2, they have 10 points. They're in 8th, and Ice Up in 4th place with 12 points, sitting at 6-1. So those 2 teams are going head to head, and that matchup will be this coming Sunday in Chateauguay at 9 p.m. So it should be a good matchup again, Texas Wales and Ice Up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Me, I'm looking pretty much at any team that's, for me, anyone that's ahead of us. So we have Kicking Assassin versus Pigeon. Those are 2 bottom teams. Veer Linux versus Toon Squad. I'm looking at all these games. I'm already doing the math, seeing what teams have to lose, what teams have to win, and stuff like that. Because I'm definitely trying to make playoffs here. And then for me, every game is like game of the week for me right now.
For sure.
Let's go to Division 5.
Yeah, 5B. Yeah, so 5B matchup that is taking place this week. So tonight was supposed to be the Emperor's Retroche against the Perplexers. So I just got a message from Shamar Atkinson of Gravel Leaf. He's telling me, because he was trying to get him on the podcast tonight, and he's like, I can't make it because the game that he thought was going to be canceled is actually taking place tonight. So I'm not sure. Maybe some fields canceled, some fields not.
No, because the thing is, we got the message before them, right? Because we got in the base camp, right? So they're looking at the flag post that was posted, I think an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we got the message early compared to some people. So I think they just sent the email to the captains now saying all the games are canceled. So all the teams are. All right. So the social media post has been out. I guess it just got sent out now, like maybe a couple of minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, yeah. So I think they just announced it 5 minutes ago for the social media, and they just emailed all the captains now. So if no one looked at it from now until the last 20 minutes ago, then you think you still have a game. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So officially, yeah. Again, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be on the pass anyways. But yeah. So yeah, Emperor's Retroche and the Perplexers, as well as Catch and Flex, the Gilson team is supposed to play tonight, Wednesday, March 11th. Those games are canceled because of the weather. Yeah, a couple games coming up this week 11, right? So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games coming up. For me, I'm looking at Demons and Chomedy Chodes. 2 teams like to talk a lot of smack, going at it this Saturday, Sadie Bear.
You said Demon, yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Well, you have the two brothers that I always like to talk all the time. Always find it funny when they
Yeah, the Tazzy brothers there.
Yeah, the Tazzy brothers. They're funny. They're good guys. It's funny. They're intense, Sometimes you kind of need that. Sometimes you don't need that. But sometimes you do need it.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy them. I always like to watch them play.
Yeah. It's always good fun. It's always good fun watching these guys.
Until one of them gets kicked out the game.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I will say also though, Chateauguay Community College against Demons taking place on Sunday. I think that might be one of the sneaky like top games of the year right now, at least in this division.
Yeah. They also changed their Chateauguay Community College. I believe they changed their logo because I don't think that was their logo before. Now they have.
Yeah, it looks like it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it. They put Russell Wilson in. Look at the picture now. It's Russell Wilson. Like he looks like a superhero when NFL.
Yeah. With Steelers there. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be very interesting. Who's gonna rush for Chateauguay Community College as their rusher? Right now it is. Let's look at it quick. Their rusher, defense, sacks. Right now the rusher is Dimitri Garlinoro. So he has 3 sacks so far. So we're gonna see how he is against the quarterback for the Demons, Ben. Yeah, Ben Alvida. Again. So that's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna do because again Ben's looking to break some records still. So we'll see if they're able to contain him or not. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. Let's go into Division 5. Yeah.
All right. So 5C looking at it right here, man. We have again 2 games supposed to be taking place tonight. TDs and Big D's against Old Pats. I was actually looking forward to that game. That's canceled. And Bonnie's Booze Clues. I had a chance to see them the other day taking on the Studs. That's canceled. So I'll have to wait again. Like I said, wait and see on the FPF website, FPF FlagPlusFootball.com to find out when those games get rescheduled. A ton of games taking place though. For week 11, the action starts on Saturday. I believe there's 9 games. 9 games going on week 11. Couple teams like Vice City, they're playing twice. They got the Panthers. They got over and underachievers. Pardon me. A couple of the teams here playing 2 games and over the course of the weekend. Old Pass taking on Bonnie's Blues Clues on the Sunday. And then Wednesday they're taking on Takeoff Squad. A couple interesting games. Bastion against Deepos, LVL Jap Boys, Studs, Sans Pression, like Touchables. Couple big games coming up.
Well, you have Vice City versus Panthers. That's gonna be a really good. That's gonna be a really good game. Panthers 6-1, Vice City 6-0. So that's gonna be a really good game. Also, the fact that right now Old Pats is doing a really good job. Royal Flush dropped. They were the number 1 seed team a couple of weeks ago. Now they're 5-2. So not too bad. They're in the 7th seed. Still putting in some work. Prutzubeck as well. Still pretty doing some work. They're 5-2. There's a lot of teams right now that are 5-2. We have 7 teams that have over 5 wins. It's gonna be interesting to say. I literally can't tell you if someone is like, "Hey, who's winning Division 5C this year? Like, what team is gonna win?" I have no clue. I can't even tell you because I think a lot of these low, like right now, these low, not caliber teams, but these teams that are kind of at the bottom right now. Like Old Pats, Royal Flush, Flag Dealers. Like these are good teams, Like don't get me wrong, they're all have positive points and against as well too. So like Les Touchables as well too. All these teams, like the top 12 teams have I think 13 teams because you have LV Jack Boys also is a team that could be a dark horse going into playoffs as well. They all have positive points and against records, stats. And that's something that you want to see compared to sometimes you see a team that's like they have 120 points and they have like 197 against. And you usually see that maybe at the bottom, like 10 teams going down, but literally 13 teams going up. They all have plus records. So that's going to be interesting to see. And again, I have no clues winning this. Like, yeah, the easiest pick is Vice City. Don't get me wrong. They're 6-0. They're leading right now with the best defense. And I think they're probably top maybe 7 or 8 for offense for points for, but also they have probably they only played 6 games. But again, you have all these good teams where Like, yeah, I can see Old Pats winning. I can see Royal Flush winning. I can see Panthers winning. I can see Studs winning. I can see Takeoff. I can see every team winning. So I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious to kind of play. I'm excited for playoffs.
All right, all right. I was gonna. So I'm glad you said that. I was gonna ask you if Panthers knocked off Vice City. I was gonna ask you, do you think then does that make Panthers the best team in this division? If they're able to knock off Vice City.
Yeah, but no, because you also have Studs. Studs. I just realized Studs is 6-0 as well too. So you have two teams.
I'm just talking about again, not knocking off one undefeated team, and then there would be one more with Studs, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like yes, it does. But Panthers also lost this week too. This season too. They lost against. They had a close game versus LA Jack Boys. You know, so that's also something to put at. But they lost versus Royal Flush 20-27, even though it's week 1. But again, Royal Flush did beat them, you know, and Royal Flush is the number 7 seed where they have 2 losses as well too. So I think it would show a lot the fact that Panthers did win that game, or vice versa. Vice City wins that game, they go 7-0. It would show a lot because they did beat a team that's 6-1, and they did defeat 6 other teams, you know. But again, I still would be like, I would be like, yeah, okay, but I'm not putting anything on it, you know, like gun to my head, who's winning? I go, I don't know what to tell you. Give me some more options. Give me at least 5 options there.
All right, fair enough. All right,
it's interesting to see.
Okay, we're gonna go to 6A. Sorry, 6. Yeah, 6A.
Yeah, let's go 6A. 6A. So looking at the standings for 6A, no more undefeated teams. Everyone has at least 1 or 2 losses. We still have 1 team that hasn't won a game. Hopefully they do change that. We have some struggling teams like Gamblers, Sweet Bonanza, teams that have been there. We've been talking about them for a bit. Sophomore Excel, we have Keon trying to do his best to get his team a playoff spot. He's doing an okay job so far.
2 wins in a row.
Yeah, he's doing an okay job so far. He's making it work, so it's good to see. You still have the top teams like Vice City, Tops and Tops, Booze Cruise, those OE, Maule, those TGS, those teams are still leading the pack, so nothing really changed here. Looking for the schedule, week 10.
One game tonight.
Yeah, 1 game tonight that's going to be canceled. I got to talk about Vengeance a bit. I had a game before they played. They told me that things didn't go that well. As you can see, they lost 27-12. So they are right. Things didn't go that well. They only scored. You know what's weird? They scored. So I didn't really check. I got there literally when their game was ended. They were up 6-0 the first half. So I would say the first half was good, and the second half they just crumbled. They lost the second half 27-6, allowing hungover heroes scoring 27 points in the second half. So I think that's the issue. That's pretty much the issue. Josh Kerr went 13 for 31 for 106 yards, 2 TDs, and 3 INTs. So I think that's pretty much one of the biggest problems. He threw 3 INTs. Where James did he throw any pick? He threw 2 pick sixes to Louis Cote. So I think that's the big game changer, because James, I want to sign Chic Otono. I can't pronounce his last name at all, but he went 8 for 18, 101 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT. So the fact that he scored 27 points, only throwing for 1 touchdown pass, he also rushed for 1 touchdown pass. So if you look at his stats, you're just like, how did you guys win this game? But again, after seeing 2 pick sixes and then a rushing touchdown, it kind of all makes sense. But
I'm looking at it right here. I think it's James Cichitano. Cichitano, yeah, I think so. Anyways. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But Vengeance, yeah, I'm a little surprised again. So we talked about it. So I know Matt Chadwick, and a friend of the show, is a good dude. Was the quarterback of this team. I know now, so that Josh Curry's taking over. Yeah, three INTs like you talked about, right? So that's not a recipe for success. So I'm gonna be interested to see now, like looking at this Vengeance squad, right? Because like you said, when you talked to them, they said it didn't go good, and obviously, like you said, Quaysie, it didn't go good at all for them. I want to see how they respond now because they're taking on Wade Palm Mal. Well, that was supposed to be tonight against Wade Palm Mal, so that'll be rescheduled. But then they're back in action. I don't think they're gonna play that makeup game before this Saturday because they're playing Saturday as well against the
Yeah,
PR
it's gonna be a good game.
Merchants. Yeah, so that should be a good game. That's actually the game I was going to talk about. I'm looking forward to this coming week.
That's gonna
Vengeance
be a
PPR.
great game. That's gonna be probably because they're both PPR merchants are 3-3. Vengeance are
Yeah,
3-3-1. So
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
be.
be this Saturday at Bassard at 8 p.m.
If you're right now looking at the schedule, right? I know there's 15 teams in the division. 3 teams don't make it. Do you think anyone's gonna switch? Like, no. Like, I guess best worst is Gus. I think your season's pretty much done. I don't think they're going to win any games moving forward. They play tops and tops. It's going to be pretty hard. They play hungover heroes, which, I mean, I think they're going to lose that game. And they play gamblers. I mean, maybe they'll be gamblers, but other than that, I think they finish their season maybe 1-9, hoping for 1-9. So I think they're kind of out of a playoff spot. Gamblers are 1-6. They play sophomore Excel students. So I think maybe they play hungover heroes. I don't think so. And they play best West Gus. So I mean that could be a win. But at the end of the day, that's max 2 wins. So they'll go 3-6. And then you have Sweet Bonanza with 4 games left, where they play only flags, which is top seed, Chapeau Perdu,
Yep.
sophomore Excel, and then Booze Crew. So they play probably out of the 4 last teams they play 3 teams that are above 500. Do you think any of these teams are going to make a jump, or do you think we have our 12 teams for the playoffs right now?
I mean, yeah, top 12 make it like you said. So I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, like you talked about Chapeau Perdu and Sweet Bonanza. I mean, like you said, I don't see them knocking off only flags. And pretty much, I think the winner of Chapeau Perdu Sweet Bonanza, that's going to be week 12, right? Wednesday, March 25th, so 2 weeks from now. I think the winner of that one will be able to leapfrog and get into the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sophomore Excel also has won a tie as well too. So Sweet Bonanza wins that game, they go 2-5, and sophomore still gets that tiebreak if anything. But okay,
Yeah.
all right. So and then going into this week, I think the games that we're kind of looking at was Vengeance versus PPR. Vengeance versus PPR Merchants. Also, Gamblers versus Sophomore Excel should be a good game too, because if Gamblers lose that game, they're one step further for playoffs, and if Sophomore wins that game, I'm pretty sure they're going to be in playoffs if they win that game.
And for sophomore Excel exchange students, right, that'd be 3 if they're able to get the W, 3 wins in a row for them and a team who is lacking confidence offensively. Defense hasn't been their problem. They're one of the top defenses in the entire division. They've given up only 131 points. This is their offense. Only their last game was the first time they altogether they were able to get over 100 points scored for the entire season, around 101 to be exact, right? So it's their offense has been the problem. But listen, you can get some wins together, and I think Keon Cyrus, shout out to him, is finding out what works for him in his offense, starting to get some momentum. They're playing their best football and getting some momentum at the perfect time of the season.
Yeah, that's exactly. We're saying it too. It's the best time to kind of start winning games because you want to be ready for playoffs at the end of the day. You want to get into playoffs, and then you want to make sure everything's rolling. So good job for them. Good job on Keon. Good job for them. Hopefully they can keep it rolling, and they can bring it into playoffs. Let's go to Division 6B.
Yeah, 6B. So 6B, the schedule is light, man. 2 games, both coming up on Sunday. Pookie Bears against the Goblins, and the Mighty Schmucks against the Ballers. I was supposed to keep the Goodfellas against Two Boss. Goodfellas couldn't field the team. They forfeited, I think, an hour or 2 before the game. Two Boss unfortunately showed up at the field, so they yeah, it sucks. I mean, so basically the Two Boss captain told me that someone from Goodfellas reached out to him. I think the game was supposed to be at 1. Someone reached out to him around like 11:30, 12, and like, hey, we're not gonna have enough guys, so we're gonna have to forfeit. So they'll have to pay the fine, hopefully. But Two Boss was smart. They took the field. They had it for an hour. The referees all took off. I left as well. But they all right. They got permission. You can use the field for an hour. So what did they do? They had a scrimmage.
Yeah, no, it's smart. I mean, I mean, you're there anyways, right? Like I don't unless you have
Exactly.
something to do. I know some guys like maybe you have a dinner or a lunch thing, and you're like, okay, maybe I get a better head start on it. But if you're gonna be
Yeah.
there, you might as well take advantage of the
Yeah,
field. The
go
fields
use
are
it.
not
Yeah,
cheap,
use
you
use
know.
it.
Renting a field
100%.
is not cheap. I'm pretty sure some people kind of look at it and they're like, oh, let's rent the field for scrimmage. You're paying about like 180 to 250 to rent the field for that 1 hour, you know. So
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's
take
it.
advantage. It's a Saturday. It's a early. Sorry, it's a Sunday that day. Early Sunday. Get some exercise in. Get a little workout. I'm sure some guys like this is their literally their exercise they get maybe in the week or whatever. So no, it's good for them. It's unfortunate that that did happen where you weren't able to fill the team. Um, and I think maybe that's something that should be done as well too. I think there should be a better way to be able to fill guys in when you need subs. Like I know people make posts and hey, like oh hey, but
Yeah, on
not
Facebook
everyone
and that.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
looks at the web that literally goes on Facebook and checks the thing. You know, it'd
Yeah.
be kind of cool if there was,
And not the day of, not an hour or two before, right? Like, I mean, you
yeah,
gotta let people know a couple days ahead of
yeah.
time.
I think it'd be pretty cool, and this is kind of maybe like wink, wink, Ben, wink, wink, Jeff, where like maybe they could have like not an app, but if you need a sub or you need a subs, you kind of put
Yeah,
something in, and people could click on it and like put their name in a pool or say they'll attend, you know, or something
yeah, yeah,
around those
yeah,
lines.
yeah.
I
A
think that would
roster
be
of standbys, maybe.
yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to
Yeah,
do because there is a lot of
definitely
people.
be
I've
great.
seen people a lot of times asking for subs. Oh, hey guys, I'm here this week. If you need a sub, let me know. But it's also difficult if you're someone that's just not looking on it. So maybe like if an app or I don't know something around those lines. We don't get a lot of forfeits, but we do get forfeits, and maybe there's probably maybe one every week. I want to say, but I feel like
Yeah,
Division
yeah,
Six B you probably could find some newer guys to play. And again, 6B, if you play 6B, you could play no, sorry, if you play 6A, you could play 6B, and if you play 6B, you could play 6A. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I want to say you could play both divisions. I could
yeah.
be wrong.
You can.
I could be wrong, but I
Yeah,
think you can.
pretty sure you
And everyone
can.
likes
All right.
so
Sorry?
I said like you could it's an early game. It's not like it's 11 p.m. where like no one wants to
Yeah,
show up.
yeah.
1 p.m. Brossard, you're inside a complex. It's pretty nice. I mean, there's no complaints there.
I
Game of the week. So Cookie Bears versus the Goblins and the Mighty Schmucks versus Ballers. I guess those are two games that are going to be pretty decent to watch.
Mhm.
Looking at the standings, I mean, Pookie Bears 6-1. They're playing Goblins, so might not be the best game. And then we have Ballers that play the Mighty Schmucks, so that should be
Yeah.
for both rosters playing against each other. Ballers 3-3 and the Mighty Schmucks 6-1.
I had a chance quickly on Saturday as that Concordia scorekeeping. I watched the Studio J Jokers against Skrillas. Quarterback Dante Crivello from Studio J Jokers went 8 of 21, 92 yards, 3 touchdown passes. So kudos to him. And out of the 8 completions, 3 of them went for TDs. They got the win. He has a beautiful deep ball. As someone who just loves football, I have an appreciation of quarterbacks, and I look at things like arm release and ball release and angles. He was just throwing like the
He gets
spiral
it
hung in the
down.
air for
He
a
gets
nice
it.
spiral.
Yeah, he
Spiral
gets it
downfield.
down the field, eh? So
Sorry?
I said he gets it down the field because
Yeah, he does.
I subbed for the Ballers that game because I couldn't have enough kids to
Yeah,
fly.
you were there. Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
he played versus me, and we played 6 versus 5, but we had me and this guy named Hubert. Hubert plays for Edouard Mopetsi, great receiver, big body. So we pretty much played both deep, so like a 50-50 jump the ball wasn't like 50-50 jump ball. But I was surprised the fact how he got the ball down the field every single time he went deep, you know? So were
Yeah.
they there on time? Their whole roster is there on time, or did they have some late show ups?
I wasn't scorekeeping that games. That's the thing. I heard someone had started 6-on-5. Not sure who it was, and maybe not have been that game. Okay, you came before to watch that game. Are you saying right?
Sorry,
Like you played in that game, or you were watching that game? You said
I played in that game
okay, because you're not on the roster for some reason.
versus Jokers.
The Studio J Jokers against Skrillas, right?
Yeah, but no, I played for Ballers in week 3.
Oh, okay, sorry, okay, my bad. Okay, sorry, my bad. Because I remember seeing you on Saturday at Concordia. My bad. I thought you meant you were there for that game. My bad. Yeah.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay, you played. Yeah, you played the game after it came up. Anyways, yeah. Also, you played the game before. Sorry. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Anyways, yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah,
I've seen
quarterback
the
from the
quarterback throw when he threw against us. I was surprised how he was able to get the ball down the field.
Yeah. It's like a really tight spiral. Like it was just nice. It's like one of those you just watch it hang in the air and it's just like, wow, that's I'm impressed. That's a nice throw.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it for
Yeah.
men's
66.
66.
Sure.
This one is a bit longer than the other. I think this is like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we went way over. we went way over our time. It's a good thing we started a bit earlier because we would have if we did it, we would be here past midnight at this point. So for everyone, thanks for listening. Again, if you guys want to come on the show, message us, DM the FPF Instagram, DM me or Brent. We want people to come on. We want to talk to people. We want to kind of see what you guys are doing. And if you guys want, again, I know one of the biggest issues that we don't talk about all the teams, but if you come on, trust me, we will talk about your team. We talked about this last week, this week as well. It's something that we don't do it on purpose, but it's sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do to talk about every team. So if you guys want to come on the podcast, just come on. You know, we'll ask you guys maybe like a couple questions. You'll be on for 2025. You get to know us. We'll get to know you. Everyone, FPF community, maybe we'll get to know you a bit better. You know, it's fun. It's not stressful. We're not gonna ask you really hard questions where we get you on the spot. It's nice to relax.
Why does your quarterback suck? Well, how come you guys can't cover? Why are you division dodging? So no, we're not gonna ask you that. I don't know, maybe division dodging, maybe we will. But,
maybe it depends how you guys are doing. But again,
yeah,
we want people on the podcast. You know, we're trying to make it bigger. We want to see what you guys also think too. So
yeah, and tell us your story, right? Like all the guests we've had on, we've all asked them like, what outside of FPF, what do they do? So like I said before, right? If you guys, people want to know about you, and some people like to talk about themselves, right? So you have a story to tell, something you want to push, like come on and talk about it, man. Chop it up. With that being said, thanks for Ben. Ben McMahon, obviously a scorekeeper, player, commissioner, but everything in FPF. Thanks for him coming on, and thanks for Will Castonguay again of Les Renard Vif. Coming on to talk to us. And when I asked him, I had a class with him last night, and I asked him, hey, do you want to come on the pod? He's like, yeah, for sure, dude, 100%. So he was super excited, and he's like, you want anyone from my team to come on anytime during the season, let me know. So I'll take him up on that and try to get some other cast to come on the show and talk some ball.
all right. So that was this is episode 11, right? Episode part 1. No, 10, 11? No, what 11. Are we?
Oh, I don't know.
This is episode 8.
8. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So I jumped.
We're in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark. There you go.
I jumped through it now. But
all right. 8, yeah, part 1. Yeah, part myself, part 2 to do. Quickly, NFL free agency started. Super excited. My Niners making some moves. We better stop messing around and we better re-sign Trent Williams. Is all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be super upset. I have like a scowl on my face for the rest of the offseason. We're gonna re-sign Trent Williams. I'm happy about Mike Evans. We made a trade today with the Cowboys, pick up one of their defensive tackles. I'm happy about that. But we gotta stay healthy. That's the main thing. And I forgot to talk to Ben. Me and Ben have been talking since like the last 48 to 72 hours about Max Crosby because he's a Ravens fan. I totally forgot to ask him about that. And I remember I told him yesterday, I swear to God, I go, you guys canceled the trade with Crosby or with the Raiders for Crosby. I'm like, go pick up Trey Henderson. Go pick him up, keep your draft picks. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be down for that for sure. This morning, it happens. Good stuff for the Ravens.
Oh, my power just flickered.
Sorry?
I said my power just flickered.
Yeah, I'm getting that too, actually, a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting that too here with the weather, man. It's okay, you know what? Let's shut up and we'll get to the second episode quick.
That's your filming.
Yeah. All right, there you go. All right, thanks for tuning into this episode of the FlagPlus Football First and Goal podcast. He's Quaysie, I'm Brent. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for our guests again. We'll see you next time. Peace.